There are 3 easy steps in creating your resume link. Let me show you how.
Step 1. Register. Go to www.jobs180.com using any browser and click Register Now. Fill out all the information needed. In choosing your resume link, use your full name so that it looks professional and it's easy to recall by potential employers. For example, Antonio Juan de la Cruz .jobs180.com. Step 2. Create and design. When creating your resume, make sure to complete your personal information and upload your profile picture. One of the highlights of the resume link is the portfolio section. In the portfolio section, you can show off your skills by uploading samples of your work like documents, pictures, videos, and your social media links.
Your resume link also features different themes and you can upload a cover photo. This is a combination of a cover letter and a social network cover photo. Here is an example. You can also download a copy of your resume link and print it. Step 3. Apply for a job. There are many ways to apply with your resume link.
First is browsing the job recommendations in your Jobs 180 dashboard.
If you're qualified, click Submit Resume Link. So what are you waiting for? Dress up your next generation resume, stand out brightly among the competitive job seekers in the market, and win the heart of your future employers using Resume Link.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Jobs180.com's Marketing Meal Live with St. Mikel College. And today, we will be joined by speakers from Jobs180.com, Inspiro, Ernst & Young, and VXI. So before we start, may we invite everyone for the opening prayer followed by singing of the national anthem.
Praise God from whom all blessings flow. Praise Him, all creatures here below.
Hello, welcome back. Good morning once again to all our viewers. By the way, my name is Maria and I will be your host for today. Ready na ba kayo? I hope you guys are ready because we are live again via Jobs 180 Facebook and Jobs 180 YouTube. We hope that everyone is also excited to learn new things today. And to officially start our session, may we invite Ms. Ruth Ann Musngi, the Associate Director of Counseling and Career Services Center, to give us the opening remarks.
A pleasant day to everyone. Welcome to our virtual Marketing Me Live. SMCL Counseling and Career Services Center has collaborated with Jobs180.com in providing you, graduating students, with opportunities to learn about the new generation resume, effective ways of preparing for job application, and other skills which are important to boost your readiness for the professional world. So I'd like all of you to please listen and learn as much as you can. See how you can use this set of knowledge that you will hear from our expert professionals in the field. Remember, your future does not only start after graduation. Instead, your future starts now. On behalf of SMCL administrators, welcome to our virtual career session, Marketing Me.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Grace, thank you so much, Ma'am Ruth, for gracing the event. And as usual, for our audience today, please comment your name, your year, and your course. And if you have questions later on, please type it to the comment section so we can answer them after the talk. Q&A will happen after each speaker's presentation, so don't forget to tag and share this to your friends too, okay? And also, the evaluation and attendance will be released at the end of the session. Same thing with your digital certificates. All right. So if you guys are ready, here are our schedule for today. Number one, job applications using Resumelink from jobs180.com. The new era of work, adapting to the new environment from Inspiro. Leading without a title, how to make a difference regardless of the position setup from Ernst and Young, and how to create an impression in applying from VXI. All right, shout out everyone. Shout out sa lahat ng nandito na. And again, please, for those students who are just joining in, don't forget to comment your name, your year, and your course. So as we go along, type your questions sa ating comment section as well. All right, because this is your chance to ask before you face the real adult thing or the world of work. So to our audience, please sit back, relax, and let us all #learn together. Okay, and I know you guys are excited, so kilalanin na po natin ang ating unang speaker with the topic job applications using Resumelink. He has 20 years of experience in sales, marketing, business development, customer service, operations, business process, and human resources. As a trusted resources speaker, he has done over 1,000 plus career development seminars in more than 400 plus colleges and universities nationwide. The managing director from Jobs180.com, Mr. Kim Chua. Sir Kim, the floor is yours. Take it away.
Hey everyone, good day to all of you. My name is Kim Chua. Don't forget the wa, baka Kim Chu lang maalala nyo. And I'm here to share to you about the most secure tool for job application. This is how you can market yourself more effectively and the different ways to do that. Okay, so let me start. Now, when you apply, you probably have a checklist if you're using the right tool. So just go along with me if you have the right, if you have the same checklist that I have. So ito yung mga things na like kong tinatandaan, no? Will my tool or will the thing that I'll be using help me to stand out? That's the first item that is very important for me. Kailangan mag-stand out ako kasi dami-dami kong kasabayan kalaban sa pag-apply. Another thing in my checklist is that do I have more than one file? Because oftentimes I have a lot of files. May academic records, may mga government IDs, ang dami mga kailangan hingiin ng mga companies. So I'd like to put them all in one file. And this tool helps me to do that. Okay? Another thing that this tool can do is that it allows me to make the process more efficient. Mas napapabilis yung pag-apply, no? Hindi na napapatagal yung pabalik-balik. So, mas mabilis din syempre tayo maka-move forward. Di ba? And another thing that this tool can do is that wala tong bayad. Mukha lang akong salesman pero libre po ito. Okay? So, this tool is absolutely for free. The most important in my checklist is that this tool, okay, makes my information secured. And I think this is the most important question. Do you want your information to be secured? I hope your answer is yes. Okay? And so with that, let me show you ano tong tool na ito. This tool is called Resumelink. Resumelink, by definition, is the most secured tool for job application. Okay? This is a personalized URL. It is a link that anyone can open online anytime, provided that they know the link. So let me use an example. If you are John Santos, just in case lang, your name is John Santos, your resume link would look something like johnsantos.jobs180.com. Ganun lang kasimple. So how do you make one? Okay, how do you make one? Now, the first step is for you to register. This is absolutely for free. Wala itong bayad. Okay? So what do? You go to www.jobs180.com and that is where you now register. Okay? As you register, you just simply fill out the information. These are the basic information. You have the account details, you have your personal information, you have your education background, and just in case you have your work experience, whether it's OJT or it's part-time job or whatever yung work experience na yan, then you proceed to that work experience page. Pero pag wala, hanggang dyan na lang tayo sa my education information. Okay? After doing so, you now start to create your resume link. So ano ba ang basihan ng resume link? Kadalasan, ang resume link natin, we base it on our name. We base it on our unique name. Okay, so as an example, if you're John Santos, then you say johnsantos.jobs180.com. Now, what about during scenarios where you create your resume link tapos may nauna sa inyo? May ibang John Santos, may kapangalan ka, no, nauna sa inyo. Ano mangyayari? Magkakaroon na red na box. Sasabihin niya, this name has already been taken. Na okay malungkot pag taken na. Okay lang. Maging creative lang kayo ng konti. Pwede mo balik na rin. Pwede mo sabihin Santos John. Okay, you can also say Santos J. O kaya J Santos. O kaya JS. Di ba? Or SJ. Depende sa link na gusto mo gawin. Basta importante, wala kang kapareho kahit kayo may kapangalan. Now, another thing I'd like to emphasize here, wag po kayong OA. Pag gumawa kayo ng resume link, huwag mo gagawin tipong nakalagay, cutie pie, lover boy, Barbie doll, di ba? Because it doesn't sound professional. Imagine going to a company and the HR will ask you, do you have a resume? Tapos sasabihin mo sa kanya, meron po, ang resume ko ay eljablo.jobs180.com. Di ba? Baka matakot yung HR sa inyo. So I don't recommend that you do something like that. Just stick to your name. Whatever your name is, it will sound professional. Okay? Now, in creating a resume link, you have to use a valid email. Emails like Yahoo, Gmail, Rocketmail, any email, basta nabubuksan nyo, wag na wag ka lang gagamit ng facebook.com na email. Okay? Do not use something like, example lang patrick@facebook.com na email. Do not use patricia@facebook.com na email. Okay? In short, do not use @facebook.com na email. Because if you use @facebook.com, you will no longer be able to receive notifications being sent to you by the companies as well as jobs180.com. Okay? So use something that you can open. Why is it important for you to open your email? Because you have to verify your account. Okay? Remember, pag nag-verify, yan ang ebidensya na ikaw nag-register talaga. Yan ang proof. Diba? And at the same time, if you verify your account, then you'll be receiving notifications from the companies as well as Jobs180. If you do not verify your account, hindi nyo na po marireceive yung mga notification ng mga companies. So, sayang naman. Diba? Might as well verify your account first. Okay? Now, you're done with the first step. After you verify. So, ano na ang second step? Ang second step is the most logical of all the steps. You have to complete all the information. Very logical. Sino sa inyo mag-apply sa mga kumpanya, bungi-bungi detalye? Sino sa inyo magbibigay ng resume sa mga HR tapos kulang-kulang details nyo? I don't think you'll do that because you're just wasting your time. Instead, kumpletuhin yung information nyo bago kayo mag-submit dun sa mga companies. Okay? So, step 2, complete the information. And how do you do that? Punta kayo ulit dun sa website, www.jobs180.com, and this time, you don't need to register again kasi may account ka na eh. What you need to do is you have to log in. Okay? Now, as you log in, you start to put your registered email or your resume link and your password na ikaw lang may alam. Okay? Ganun lang siya kasimple. Now, once you're inside your account, you start to fill in the blanks. Ganun lang kasimple, fill in the blanks. So, the things that you see here, yung mga contents, napakasimple lang, yung mga personal details nyo, lagay mo dyan, di ba? All the information na sa tingin nyo relevant, you put it there. Now, I have some emphasis lang on items na madalas nami-miss out ito ng mga aplikante. Ano yung mga yon? Sa contact information, you have to put here all the possible ways na pwede kang makontak ng isang HR. Kagaya ng social media handles nyo. Ba't ko nasabi yan? Because in reality is, pag tinatawagan kayo ng mga HR, madalas hindi naman ina-answer eh. Lalo na pag hindi nyo kilala, pag nag-ring yung phone nyo, hala, sino kaya ito? Di ba, hindi mo kilala. Ano gagawin? Hahayaan mo na lang. Di ba? Antayin mo kung may mag-message sa inyo. Eh, paano kung yung HR hindi naman masipag hindi masipag mag-message? Masipag lang siya magtawag. That's why I recommend you put here all the possible means na pwede kang makontak. Kagaya ng social media nyo. Put your Facebook there, yung mga messenger nyo, mga Twitter nyo, iba pang mga paraan, social media handles para mabilis kayo ma-reach out. Diba? Message na lang. Are you available Thursday, 10 a.m., so on and so forth. You get what I'm saying? Diba? So lahat ng paraan, lagay mo dyan. What else do you put here? You also put here yung inyong mga work options. Sa work options naman, you just choose lang, parang yes or no lang yan, parang switch, no? Kung ano yung mga options na gusto ninyo. No, willing to work night shift, willing to relocate, looking for OJT, you can also put it here. Okay? And then in terms of education, obvious naman, yung alma mater nyo, lagay nyo dito. Diba? Yung mga pampakapal ng resume, sa seminars attended, kahit magkopyahan pa kayo ng mga classmates mo, okay lang. Basta lang make sure, alam nyo na pag-usapan doon sa seminar na yon. Pagdating sa certification, ganun din yan. Walang limit sa space yan. Achievements, recommend ko dito is you don't only put yung mga achievement nyo inside the school. Okay? Kasi hindi naman lahat tayo academically inclined. Some of us are not very active sa school, pero active tayo sa mga social civic organization. Diba? So, even if it's outside of the school, you can also put it there. As long as you think it is an achievement, you put it there. Okay? Now, in terms of skills and languages, isa-isahin ko lang yan ha. Sa skills, do not limit your skills dyan lang sa course nyo. Hindi perkat education ng course mo, ang ibig sabihin, ang skills na alam mo lang ay magturo. Hindi perkat accounting ang course mo, ang alam mo lang gawin or ang skills mo ay mag-debit, credit at mag-balance sheet. Diba? So, marami kang alam na iba pa mga skills na kahit walang connect sa course, you can also put it here. Sample, photography, diba? Videography, diba? And all the other things, calligraphy, pwede mo ilagay dyan. Okay? When it comes to languages, I'm sure alam nyo, dalawang lengguwahe na. At the minimum, you know English and you know Filipino. If you know local dialect, to be specific, lagi mo Tagalog, Sabacano, Bisaya, Kapampangan, 'di ba? Ilonggo, wala naman limit sa space eh. 'Di ba? If you know foreign languages, put it there. Chinese, Japanese, French, Vietnamese, kung ano man 'yan, ilagay nyo. Because what you're doing is you're trying to market yourself more effectively to the prospective company. Now, when it comes to references, sigurado naman ako yung mga references nyo, kilala nyo. Ang tanong lang dyan, kayo ba kilala nila? Kasi madalas pag tinatawagan namin yung mga references nyo, hindi kayo maalala. Yung pinakamalupit dyan, hindi talaga kayo kilala. Okay, so please advise yung mga references nyo na ginawa nyo silang reference para at least they know what to tell about you. Okay? Now, at this point, I'd like to highlight yung mga things that you don't find in a traditional resume. Ano yung mga yan? Diba? Ito yung mga yun. Let me start with the portfolio section. The portfolio section is where you now upload evidence of your skills. And I think with this day and age, dito pumapasok yung efficiency, no, ng ating application sa mga companies. Because oftentimes, when we apply to companies, marami mga hinihingi, mga pre-employment requirements. They will ask for mga documents, mga proof that is showing na yun talaga yung mga skills nyo. So, kung ano man meron yung mga documents, you can now take a picture, you can scan them, and you can upload it here. Example, government IDs. Diba? Meron ka mga transcripts, academic records. Diba? You can put that there. Okay? Kung meron mga medical clearance na kailangan, ganun din. Hindi na kailangan magpabalik-balik sa company. Oh, ayos ba? Oh, eto pa. Diba? But wait, there's more. Ito na yun. Etong isa pang gusto ko i-recommend sa inyo, yung tinatawag nating selfie video. Nowadays, I think, it is not very difficult to create a selfie video. Diba? Ito may TikTok nga kayo eh. Diba? Alam mo naman paano gumawa ng selfie video. So I don't need to teach you how to create a selfie video. What I need to share to you na lang is yung anong kailangan sabihin pagka gumawa ka ng selfie video. Okay, this time, what I recommend is you say something interesting about yourself. Okay? So, you pretend that you're being interviewed by the HR. Diba? Ano yung mga tinatanong sa atin? Why should we hire you? Diba? Tell me something about yourself. Why should we consider you among all the other applicants? O, diba? Ang kagandahan ngayon is you create that video for about 1 minute or less. Hindi kailangan sobrang haba. No? Mga 1 minute lang or less. Pero ang maganda rito is na-evaluate na nung HR yung inyong communication skills. If If you can speak in English, then I recommend you speak in straight English. But if you cannot, it's okay as long as you're able to show your personality. You can also showcase here yung mga hard skills nyo. Ano yung mga hard skills? Kagaya ng mga video na panood ko dati, pinakita nila how to use a soldering iron, how to properly handle a welding machine, diba? How to fold table napkins. O, ganun, diba? So, depende kung ano yung mga skills na alam mo at depende kung ano yung nasa field mo rin, diba? Na napag-aralan, diba? So, gusto mo magpakita ka kung paano mag-balance sheet, pwede rin. O, diba? Again, it really depends on what you wanted to show dun sa HR. Ang point is, you don't need to travel back and forth para lang ipakita on the spot dun sa HR yung inyong hard skills. And, most importantly, hindi na kailangan magkaroon ng maraming aberya, maraming storbo. Diba? Sometimes, when we try to contact you for the phone interview, maingay yung background, hindi marinig, 'di ba? Mahina signal, maingay, ano nangyari? Nasa biyahe, 'di ba? Or sometimes hindi magtugma yung schedule. At least with that selfie video, it makes the process now more efficient. Now, another good thing pa with the Resumelink is that you also upload here your profile picture. When it comes to profile picture, you don't need to go to the studio para magpa-picture. Huwag ka na gumastos. Ang importante lang dyan, tumingin ka sa camera, okay, with plain background, at of course, magbihis ka naman ng maayos, 'di ba? And then you're good to go. Huwag mo gagawin yung mga nasa right side ng screen niyo. Those samples that I'm showing you, it doesn't look professional. Imagine, di ba, yung mga selfie, mga nilagay ng avatar, yan, huwag nyo gawin yan. Okay? Huwag nyo gawin yan. It doesn't look nice, doesn't look professional. Okay? Now, another good thing pa with the Resumelink is that meron tayong tinatawag na cover photo. Ayan, pasintabi sa matatamaan. May iba sa inyo nakikinig ngayon, hindi naman kayo gifted with writing skills. Some of us are having a difficult time expressing our thoughts and feelings into words. So ano pwede mo gawin? You can now use those pictures to represent your personality or to showcase yung inyong skills. Example, look at the one on the left, yung nasa baba. Ano kaya siya? Sabi ni iba, sir, ophthalmologist, optometrist, or eye expert. Yung nasa kanan, yung nasa taas, ano kaya siya? Sabi ni iba, sir, para siyang admin or clerical work. Or maybe makalat kasi tingnan mo yung lamesa ang kalat-kalat. O, di ba? Again, it depends on the interpretation of the person looking at it. This is an example of someone into HR or maybe into psychology. And this one is an example, this is a very good example by the way, of someone who wanted to say that there is no shortcut to success. Hindi po yan miyembro na Akit Bahay Gang. Okay? Ang gusto niya sabihin, you will be able to reach yung goal mo by taking one step at a time. Oh, di ba? You get what I'm saying now. So I'm showing you good examples para you can draw inspiration from. And I will also show you not so good examples. Ito yung wag niyong gagayahin. Huwag kayong magpapaka-misteryoso. Okay? Maglagay ka ng picture mo dyan. Lalaki man, babae, in between, okay lang. Ilagay mo dyan. Member man tayo ng LGBTQ+, okay lang. You put it there. At least alam ng HR who to expect. A lot of times, yung mga pangalan kasi very interchangeable nowadays. Ako mismo, guilty ako dyan. My name is Kim. A lot of people think babae ako, di ba? Eh, pag iba nababasa ko mga resume, ano nakalagay sa resume nila? Chris, nakalagay George, Alex, Sam, Nick, di ba? Joey. I would assume lalaki. Yung pala, babae. O, di ba? So that's why you better make sure you put your picture there. And wag naman pugot yung ulo nyo pag nilagay ng picture. Dapat kompleto. Okay? Never leave this blank because if you leave this blank, it will not catch the HR's attention. Trust me. Kung ikaw ang HR, wala ka namang ibang makita dyan, malamang mangyayari dito, next applicant na. Okay? And then if you want to catch the HR's attention, do not create something like this. This is just my opinion. I don't think this looks professional kasi ang dating parang tamad, parang happy-go-lucky, no? Parang chill-chill, walang pakialam sa buhay. Again, that is just my interpretation. Okay? So I showed you the good and not so good examples para you'll be guided. Now you can just play along later on kung anong sa tingin nyo mas bagay sa inyong background or sa inyong sa gusto niyo ipakita sa personality niyo. Okay? Now let's examine a very good example. Look at this person, itong eye expert. Bakit maganda itong example ng kanyang resume link? Because all the information you're seeing here, kompleto na. 'Di ba? Hindi ka na magpabalik-balik eh. Kung ikaw yung HR, everything that you need to ask or you want to know about the applicant, you already find it here. If you're the applicant, you might as well put everything there para wag mo na antayin pa yung time na hihingiin pa sa'yo ng HR yung mga documents yan. Baka hindi na mangyari yun. Baka may ibang aplikante na mas assertive, nilagay lahat ng mga information na i-process na siya kaagad. Diba? Now, at this point, I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, sir, okay nga tong resume link. Kaso lang, baka naman yung information ko nakakalat na sa buong mundo. Baka naman nakalantad na sa buong internet. Ang sagot ay, hindi. Kaya nga tinawag na the most secure tool for your job application. Diba? Bakit? Because you control your privacy settings. Ikaw mismo, as an account user or as a resume link owner, ikaw ang may control ng privacy settings mo. And how will that happen? When you log into your dashboard, as you can see in my screen, when you log into your dashboard, you will find the resume link settings. Pagpunta mo sa settings, mapuntahan mo yung privacy settings at doon ka mamili ngayon ng information you want to show or hide in public. So let me use an example. If you don't want to show your birthday, what do? You turn it off. You don't want to show your references, you turn it off. You don't want to show your address, what do? Turn it off. Diba? So yung mga information na in-off mo, hindi lalabas sa public. Now, if ever lang you decide to change your mind, ang maganda dito sa Resumelink, updated yan, real time. As in real time. So 5 minutes later, you want to share your birthday, turn it on. What happens? Lahat ng mayroong alam ng Resumelink mo, alam na niya yung birthday mo. Diba? If 2 days later, you want to show your address, you turn it on, you save your profile, lahat ng may alam ng Resumelink mo, alam na rin yung inyong address. You get what I'm saying? Diba? So, depende na sa inyo kung ano gusto mo yung on or yung off. If you want to turn off everything, then okay lang. You can just turn off the button. Enable public Resumelink, off. Wala nang lalabas sa public. Kahit na anong information. Okay? So, yan ang re-remind ko sa inyo. This, the second step is for you to complete the information, and in doing so, please make sure that your profile is interesting, diba? Yung information mo kompleto at updated ang details nyo para mabilis kayo makontak ng mga HR. Now, we go to the last step. Pangatlo na, last step na to. The last step is for you to submit. Now, how will you submit your resume link to those companies? You might be thinking you want to explore opportunities outside of the Philippines. Maybe you want to join some job fairs later on. You want to apply online. You want to, marami, walk-ins, diba? Depende kung ano, kasi bumabalik na yung face-to-face ngayon. So, lahat ng mga ipapakita ko sa inyo, lahat ito, practical application. Lahat yan, makaka-relate kayo. Ano yung first one? The first one is you go online. Of course. Diba? Yan ang fastest way. You just connect via your phone, via kung ano man gadget mo, go to jobs180.com, search for companies. And by the way, speaking of search, you can only search for company, tatlo lang pwede mo i-search ha. Search for company name, position title, and location. Doon sa search bar, hindi mo pwede ma-search ang resume link. So example lang, ikaw si John Santos, okay? O kaya ikaw si, ako na lang, Kim, halimbawa lang, subukan mo pumunta sa jobs180.com, doon sa search bar, type mo doon Kim. Tingnan mo kung may lumabas. Malamang sa malamang, walang lalabas. Unless may company name, position title, or location na may word na Kim. Other than that, walang lalabas dyan. Kasi hindi siya searchable. So, the only time a company would be able to know your information is if and when you give your exact resume link to that company. So, ikaw may control. Ayos? So, tuloy natin. Okay, tuloy natin. So, if you're going to search for companies, what do? Just go to the website of jobs180.com, search for companies. Kung may lumabas, edi meron. Pag walang lumabas, edi wala. Diba? Ganun lang yan. Huwag pilitin magkaroon ng something kung wala talaga. Diba? Okay, so ano gagawin? Tingnan mo yung mga companies. Kung meron kang type, edi gawin nyo, check nyo yung opportunities. After that, you now submit your information to that company. Okay, and when you submit your information to the company, it will ask for your profile, for your resume link and password. So ikaw lang magbibigay ng consent dun sa company. Okay? Now another option is for you to send resumes via email. Now there's nothing wrong in sending resumes through email. Ang tanong dito is, how are you sending your resumes through email? Do you do it like this? Do you say, "Dear HR manager, I'd like to apply for the following position. This is my resume." Tapos mag-attach ka ng Word file, PDF file, or whatever file you have. If you're doing those attachments pa, ang tawag dyan, traditional, pampabagal, makaluma. Hindi ko sinabing mali. Ang sabi ko lang, traditional, pampabagal, makaluma. Bakit? Hindi mo kailangan mag-attach anything anymore. If you're going to write an email and send your resume, just simply type your resume link there. "Dear HR manager, I would like to apply for the following position. This is my resume." In this example, Antonio Juan de la Cruz, jobs180.com, send. Tapos na. Ganun lang kabilis. Diba? Whatever changes you need to do, you put it inside your resume link. You don't have to keep on sending another attachment. Paano kung imagine mo na lang, nag-attach ka ng Word file. Diba? Ng PDF file. Tapos nagpalit ka ng address, nagpalit ka ng phone number. Ano gagawin mo? Email mo na naman yung HR. "Dear HR manager, I'm sending you my updated resume." Ganun ba? Paano kung 2 months later, lumipat ka ng bahay, iba na address mo, send ka ulit ng bagong resume? "Dear HR manager, I'm sending you my updated, most recent resume." I don't think you'll do that. Kasi kung ganun ang ginagawa mo, sayang sa oras yan, nakakapagod sa part mo, lalong-lalo naman sa part ng HR, mas nakakapagod to keep track kung saan dyan yung pinaka-updated na attachment or pinaka-updated na resume ng aplikante. And this time around, if you have your resume link, all you need to do is just update your resume link at lahat na may alam ng resume link mo, makikita nila yung pinaka real-time update ng profile or information. Ayos ba? Ayos ba? Sige, another one. For those who wanted to use a hard copy, gusto mo talaga may hard copy ka when you apply to those companies, you want to give something, then this is also possible. What do? You go to your dashboard inside your job seeker account, then you can print your resume link. Mamili ka lang, 1 column or 2 column version. Either way, the system will try to compress everything into 1 page. O, di ba? Maginhawa sa buhay. So, kung gusto mo talaga mag-apply sa mga kumpanya, hindi mo na kailangan mag-prepare ng maraming mga pages. Minsan, di ba, yung mga aplikante, mga 2-3 pages ang isang set ng resume. Palibasa, yung font size 45. Kaya umaabot ng 2-3 pages. O, di ba? Pero this time, the system will try to compress everything na into 1 page. Just in case you really want to have a hard copy. O, di ba? Tipid. Okay? Another thing pa for me to encourage you to do is you use Resumelink cards. Resumelink cards. Ano tong Resumelink card? Kung sa mga nagtatrabaho na, ang tawag namin business card. Sa mga nag-a-apply, tawag dyan, Resumelink card. So in one piece of paper, whether short bond or long bond paper, you can now design it your own way. You can design it depende kung ano ang gusto mo, pagiging creativity mo. Ikaw bahala. You can make 10, 20 sets of cards. Depende sa laki or liit. Diba? Kasi laki ng index card or kasi liit lang ng mga normal business cards natin. Diba? So depende. So maybe in one long bond paper, you can make 10, 20 sets of cards na. And so after you have it printed out, pwede ka na ngayon maggupit-gupit. Gupit-gupit na lang. Diba? 10 or 20. Bawat kumpanya, you can now start to give that as a hard copy. Hard copy pa rin naman yan eh. But this time, why am I encouraging you to use Resumelink cards instead of the traditional long bond or short bond paper? Bakit? Una-una, tipid. Diba? Because of course, right now, eto, tipid. Kasi if you're going to apply to 20 companies, you don't need to print 20 sets of long bond papers. You just need to print one long bond paper and cut 20 small pieces of Resumelink cards. O, diba? That's for the cost side. Tipid na. Pangalawa, at mas importante, security of information. Diba? You want to have peace of mind. Paano ko nasabi yan? Kapag ikay nagbigay sa isang kumpanya ng long bond paper or short bond paper, example lang, no? It's a traditional resume. And for some reason, nilipad ng hangin. Okay? Nilipad ng hangin. Hindi mo kasalanan. Kasalanan ng hangin eh. Diba? May nakapulot na stranger. All your information, alam na nung stranger. Tama? And you cannot deny it because you know what I'm saying is true. Diba? Hindi mo kilala pero alam niya yung details mo. Now, using your Resumelink card, same scenario. Nagbigay ka ng Resumelink card sa company, nilipad ng hangin ngayon. May na stranger na nakapulot, okay lang. Bakit? Kampante ka. Kasi yung Resumelink, ikaw may control ng privacy settings mo. That's why, in your Resumelink card, what I recommend, you just simply put your name and your resume link. Dalawa lang. That's it. If you want to put your mobile number, it's okay. It's up to you. You can put it there. Diba? Pero ang point ko is, Resumelink, pwede na siya makita ng mga HR or mga companies na bibigyan mo. Diba? So you have peace of mind now. Okay? So there's a lot of advantages using Resumelinks. In fact, doon pa lang sa privacy portion, panalong-panalo ka na. Ikaw ang may control ng privacy settings mo real time. Pagdating sa speed of hire, it becomes faster and more efficient because whatever you want to show the HR, you just attach it there. Whatever the HR needs from you, they just ask from you. Diba? You take a picture, you scan them, upload it there, and later on, pag okay na, you now turn off yung privacy settings mo. Diba? Or you can remove them in the attachments. Diba? Cost efficient, definitely wala tong gastos, tipid. Diba? If you're thinking, ay sir, paano po yung internet, kailangan ng pang-load? Pwede ka maging resourceful. Connect lang tayo sa mga libreng wifi. O, diba? And then, pagdating sa flexibility, if you really want to have it printed out, yung inyong resume, you also have the option to print it out. That's like how I showed it to you, 1 column or 2 column version. Either way, it's really up to you. Pero ang point ko is, Resumelink na lahat yan. Okay? And you can use this to any platform, whatever platform you want to share it to. You want to share it sa mga messenger nyo, you want to share it sa email, sa Viber, sa text, di ba? Gusto mo, kaya ko bahala. Di ba? Gusto mo, sulat mo sa papel, tapos gawa ka ng airplane, palipad mo, di ba? May nakakuha, alam niya yung Resumelink mo. Ikaw bahala. Okay? Ikaw may control kung sino ang gusto mo bigyan. Okay? You don't have to use your USBs anymore. You don't have to save it sa hard drive. Baka mawala pa yung USB nyo. Delikado. Diba? Wag na. Baka kung ano pa makita ng mga nakakapulot ng mga USB na yan. Okay? So you don't need to worry about compatibility as well because this is compatible to any platform. If you're using Android, you're using Safari, kung ano magamit mo, pwede yan sa kahit anong version. Okay? And so, just to promote lang, if you want to be part of our team, we're also hiring. Mismo sa jobs180.com, we're hiring for several opportunities, several vacancies yan. Check out na lang yung aming jobs180.com/jobs180 na page. Okay? And by the grace of God, shout out lang ako, right now we have more than 400 plus colleges and university partners nationwide. From north all the way to the south of the Philippines. Thank you, Lord. O, diba? Ang kinalat namin, hindi lang virus. Biro lang. Kinalat namin Resumelink. Yan ang kinalat natin. So, a lot of schools now, including your alma mater, are now using the resume link. So, I hope it doesn't stop here. No, you become a blessing to others as well. If you have friends, you have yung mga relatives mo na sa tingin mo kailangan nitong tool na ito, you can share it to them. Wala namang bayad eh, libre naman yan. Okay? And so, as we close this portion, I'd like to discuss some of the frequently asked questions. Baka ito yung mga agam nyo or ito yung mga questions na gusto nyo tanungin. Sagutin ko na muna. Okay? Unang tanong, can I give my resume links to companies who do not know about jobs180.com? The answer is absolutely yes. Basta alam nila eksaktong link mo at ikaw may control, sino bibigyan mo nun. Ikaw lang ang magbibigay, diba? So ikaw lang may alam sino binigyan mo. Okay? Now, second question, is it the same as other job platform kagaya ng JobStreet, LinkedIn, or any other job site? The answer is no. May dalawang pagkakaiba. And let me use an example here. Let me do a shout out to JobStreet, no? Because I think you guys know what JobStreet is. So, shout out lang to them sa mga nasa JobStreet. If you're using JobStreet na resume, you can only apply to companies who are using JobStreet. If you're applying to a company who is not using JobStreet, you cannot use your JobStreet resume anymore. Pero pag gamit mo yung resume link mo, pwede mo yung gamitin kahit na saan, kahit na kanino, kahit na anong platform. Diba? Basta alam ng HR yung eksaktong link mo at ikaw magbibigay nun. That's the first difference. Second difference, if you have already submitted your JobStreet resume to an HR, you cannot change anything anymore. Well, you can on your end, but it will not be reflected on the HR. Hindi siya magiging real-time update. Comparing it to resume link ni Jobs 180, you can update it real-time. 2 days later, 5 minutes later, 6 weeks later, ikaw bahala. Anytime nag-update ka ng information, lahat na in-update mo, dagdag bawas, will be reflected real-time across all na may alam ng resume link mo. Okay? So those are the two major differences. Now, pagdating sa pangatlong question, yan ang pinaka-simpleng tanong. Can I keep my information secured? I hope by this time na-convince ko na kayo na ito na ang pinaka-secured na job application platform. Okay? So, use your resume link. Number 4 question, I think is the most important question. How often should you update your resume link? The answer is every time. Every time na meron kang babaguhin. Okay? Every time na meron kang babaguhin. Lalong-lalo na yung contact details mo. Kasi imagine, binago mo lahat. Binago mo yung work experience mo, nagkaroon ng awards, nagkaroon ng achievement, hindi ka naman makontak ng HR. Wala rin, di ba? Sayang din. That's why you have to update yung contact details nyo. Okay? And the last question is just a trivia. Trivia lang, palaisipan. Why is this called jobs180.com? This is called jobs180.com because we want to turn your life around 180 degrees. And in case you're wondering, no, you wanted to raise a concern, bakit hindi po 360? Kasi pag 360 degrees, you only go back to where you started. Ikot ka lang na ikot, wala kang pupuntahan. 'Di ba? Bumabalik ka lang kung saan ka galing. Oh, ha? O, di ba? Char lang yan. Okay? So, anyways, again, kung meron pa kayo ibang questions, just in case you have questions, okay, you may send those questions here through our website, www.jobs180.com. You can also email us or email me here sa info@jobs180.com. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, pati na rin sa TikTok. Okay? So, check us out on all our social media platform. Okay? Again, my name is Kim Chua. Don't forget the wa. Okay? Isang magandang araw po sa inyo lahat. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sir Kim. Thank you so much for sharing us on how to create a job-winning resume. So guys, sa mga hindi pa nakapag-create dyan ng resume nila, please do not forget to visit www.jobs180.com and then sign up for free under the job seeker login. Okay. So, and then guys, if you have questions with Sir Kim and the topic, please post it na sa ating comment section para po mabasa po natin. Alright. Any question po na gusto nyo i-ask kay Sir Kim, feel free to type it sa ating comment section. Alright. So, Sir Kim, here are the offline questions po. No? Sa mga nahihiyang magtanong dyan. Under the work experience po tabs, no? How about for those fresh graduates right na walang work experience or hindi working students, no? Anong information or other information na pwede nilang ilagay dun sa option na yun?
Okay. So, for those na walang background sa trabaho,
Yes,
kung
po.
totally wala talaga, as in absolutely zero, no, super zero, walang any work experience, then I do not recommend that mag-invento kayo. Do not do that. Okay? So, just leave it blank and be honest with your interviewer pag kayo nag-apply na you never had a chance, no, to work. Um, kapag meron naman kayong summer job, part-time job, o kahit na may racket-racket kayo dyan, minsan, di ba, tayo ay, kumbaga, para-paraan eh. Sometimes we also try to find ways, no, to make extra income, di ba? And then, itong mga trabahong to ay naging talagang totoong trabaho naman, di ba? Kayo ay nakapagtrabaho, then you can put it there kahit for a short stint lang, short period of time, pwede mo ilagay dyan. Basta totoo naging experience nyo, lagay ninyo. Diba? Ganyan. So, nag-help out kayo example sa family business nyo, or sometimes baka may kaibigan kayo na mayroong tindahan tapos nag-help out ka mag-promote or do something, no, with that. You can do that. Other thing to support it is yung OJT. Kasi nung itong mga batch na to, if I am correct, then nagkaroon na kayo ng OJT. Kasi ito na yung portion na nag-transition na most of the companies and schools are medyo maluwag na no? Nagkaroon tayo ng internship na ulit, no? And unlike the previous batches, sa mga higher batches ninyo, talagang naabutan nila yung super lockdown, no, na pandemic natin, na wala talagang chance na magkaroon ng internship or OJT. So, kung meron kayong work experience, OJT I mean, or internship, you can put that under your work experience also. Yan. So, I hope nasagot ko tanong ni Miss Maria.
Thank you so much, Sir Kim. And then, next question po, ang Resumelink po ba is only applicable for fresh graduates?
Hindi. Ang Resumelink is
Mhm.
applicable for all ages. Walang pinipili yan. Bata, matanda, retired na, pwede pa rin. Senior citizen, pwede pa rin. As long as the purpose of the Resumelink, one, is you keep your information eh. Yun yung pinaka-importante dyan, no? You have something to put your information in, you keep it, and you secure that information because you can control it 100%. Yan ang purpose talaga nitong Resumelink. If you need to submit that to a company or you want to share that to any friends or whoever is inviting you, example, for an occasion, kasi kailangan mo mag-opening message. Ayan, marami tayong mga ibang, lalo na mga speakers, di ba? Pag-invite natin sa mga occasion natin, sa activities sa school or even outside, no, sa mga association or organization, we normally invite people that we'd be introducing. And sometimes what we do is we request for them for their CV or for their resume. Diba? Which is I find it a bit difficult to ask kasi syempre yung person has to sometimes send it through email or marami
Mhm.
mga hassle. And so this is something that is also useful for them. Sa mga may trabaho na, 'di ba? Ang gawin nyo, gawa lang kayo resume link. It does not mean naman that you're looking for a job kapag kayo ay may resume link. 'Di ba? It just means that you have your profile readily available. Pagka gusto mo gamitin, then you can just, 'di ba, share it or give it to the person na gusto mong bigyan. Tapos you can control your privacy settings. So after that event, pwede mo na i-turn off yung mga gusto mo i-turn off. 'Di ba? Turn on, turn off. Depende kung ano gusto mo gawin. So yan, just to answer your question, Ma'am Maria, hindi po ito pang estudyante lang, hindi ito pang job seeker lang. So you can use it. Now, how is it different from a social media platform is I don't think you create your resume tapos ipagmamayabang mo sa kaibigan mo. Hindi ito yung ganong approach, no. You create it because you need something to keep your information in. So that's the big difference. In case that's your next question, if you're wondering kung
Yes,
how
sir.
is this different from a social media platform, magkaiba po. Okay? Ayan.
Thank you so much, Sir Kim. Sir Kim, last question po, since medyo nahihiya ang ating audience today. For those interested who wants to apply with Jobs 180, since we have an opening naman po, what expectations they can get from Jobs 180 po once they get hired?
Okay. So, para sa mga audience,
Mhm.
earlier I was promoting that we have a lot of vacancies in our team, especially now that we are adjusting back na to the face-to-face setting. Imagine we have 400 plus colleges and university partners nationwide, which we are also servicing. If you're interested or you have friends, relatives na tingin nyo, pwede nyo i-recommend sa amin, just tell them to check out the opportunities that you're seeing on the screen. One is, yung nakita nyo to scroll right now, you can go to schools.jobs180.com/SMCL. Okay, bakit SMCL? Dahil yan po ang link ninyo, no, para sa St. Michael's College of Laguna. Another way to submit your resume link is go to info@jobs180.com. Email nyo na lang diretso sa amin yung resume link ninyo. Kung hindi naman, pwede kayo pumunta sa jobs180.com, mismo na website, and then you just look for Jobs 180 there. Na pwede kayo mag-submit. Now, to answer the question of Miss Maria, ano expectations ba ng Jobs 180 kapag kayo ay nag-work sa company? I think it boils down to the passion. Dapat the person has to be passionate with what you're doing. Because with the things that are do what we're doing right now, 'di ba? Itong mga ginagawa namin is we're trying to share technology, 'di ba? We're sharing all these things to more people to benefit them. 'Di ba? So not just with Jobs 180, I think with all the other companies. And HR will agree with me. Itong mga HR people na makakausap nyo, you need to have dapat nandun yung puso mo. Ayan, yan yung Tagalog, no? Nandiyan yung puso mo pag kayo nag-a-apply dun sa mga kumpanyang papasukan nyo or a-applyan ninyo later on. Okay? So, tandaan nyo, hindi naman ito yung trabaho-trabaho lang, di ba? I'm sure some of you might just be viewing work as work because you need to just find work para lang may meron kang may gagawin ka or just to keep you busy. But I think that will not make you stay for a long time, no? Something that will really make you grow for that company is that dapat nandiyan ang puso mo. Nandiyan ang puso sa company, sa trabaho na inyong papasukan. So, yan ang message ko sa mga gusto maging part ng Jobs on 80 at kahit sa ibang mga companies na rin. Yan.
Thank you
Okay.
so much, Sir Kim. Thank you so much. I hope narinig yan lahat ng ating mga students, no? Para magtagal tayo sa ating mga trabaho. Ayun, thank you so much, Sir Kim. And thank you for joining us today po. I think yan na po yung last questions po natin since wala po tayong
Mahihain
question
tong
from
batch na
audience.
to. First time ko na-encounter
Yes,
ang mga
sir.
taga St. Michael's na hindi nagtatanong
Mm-mm.
ng question because when I went there in the face-to-face settings, students were, hindi kami natatapos sa Q&A eh. So,
Very hyper,
kakapanibago
sir.
lang. Oo. Okay.
All right. Thank you so
Sige.
much, Sir
Thank
Kim, for
you. Thank
joining
you.
us.
All right.
Mhm.
Bye-bye.
And see you again po. All right. Thank you so much, Sir Kim. And everyone, for those who wants to apply with jobs180.com, just go to www.jobs180.com/jobs180. All righty. Thank you so much. So let's move on to our second speaker with the topic, the new era of work, adapting to the new environment. He has been working with local and multinational companies in various fields. He has 2 years of experience working with one of the largest smartphone companies in the world as a bilingual partner for the research team. He also has 3 years of working in an ESL instructor for Asian learners, focusing on intermediate to advanced levels, and had a chance to be an online professor partner in a private university in Taiwan. He has 2 bachelor's degrees, Bachelor of Arts in Asian Studies major in Korean Studies, and a Bachelor of Science in Psychology. At present, he is now part of Inspiro, really incorporated as a recruiter sourcing specialist. The sourcing specialist from Inspiro, Mr. Patrick Michael de Rosas. Sir Patrick, good morning po.
Hi, good morning. Can you hear me loud
Good.
and clear?
Yes, sir, loud and clear. And since your screen is up, I'll be back after 20 minutes for the Q&A. Good luck, sir.
Thank you. All right, so good morning, everyone. Again, I'm Patrick. I'm part of Inspiro Relia's recruitment sourcing team. So just a brief background, kung ano ba yung ginagawa ko as a work, we're actually the ones recruiting or sourcing applicants. Kami yung naghahanap ng mga aplikante na ipapasok natin sa company. Now, what we're going to discuss for today is the topic of new era of work. We're going to learn on how to adapt to the new working environment. As we all know, since the pandemic happened, maraming nangyari, especially with regards to the work setup. So we're going to have a brief background as to what happened. Of course, we're going to talk about the new normal and others. Okay, so okay, I'll give it here 1 moment. All right, so new normal, okay? So for the new normal, of course, we have heard a lot of that term for the past year. Ano nga ba ang new normal, right? So lagi yan naririnig natin. So ito yung way, or this is the new way of living because we adopted to what's currently happening around us, right? So we have a new way of living and going with our lives. Now, this topic is actually too broad. Now, there are many topics to talk about, but we're going to focus on the work setup and how to adapt to the new working environment. Also, the common challenges you'll about to see and experience in terms of the work in this new normal setup. Now, let's start with the way people find job now these days. Okay, so of course, for the application, first is what we call the branding. Now, ano nga ba yung branding? Branding is this is an image making for the company. So naglalabas sila ng brands, hashtags, statements, and others para magkaroon yung company ng sarili nilang image or tumatak sa tao, right? So branding before, you may see ads from companies on billboards, public transportations, yung mga jeepneys and others, LRT, MRTs and others, right? But now we rely a lot on online and virtual branding these days. Of course, lahat tayo nakatutok sa screen natin and others. So from time to time, makakakita kayo ng ads on Facebook saying na may opening for this company and others. Okay. Now we're actually going to talk about the digital platform in a few. Now, we have what we call the events and job fairs as well. Okay. Now, job fair, this is actually a place wherein a lot of people gather in one place, okay? And they're looking for job, okay? Lahat ng mga companies din nandito or yung mga companies na mag-join sa job fair is mag-aalok or mag-offer ng job dun sa mga pupunta dun sa job fair. Now, since we're actually on the new normal setup, before, pre-pandemic, ang mga job fairs is on-site. So, meron dyan, for example, sa Mega Mall, sa Star Mall, and different locations to cater different, job hunters. Now, we have a virtual and, of course, on-site job fairs as well. We have, like this one, we have a virtual event now since hindi kami makakapunta ng Laguna. But there are some that nagko-conduct sila ng event on-site na. Like what happened or like what I experienced last week, I was actually part of the job fair of one of our universities here, the Thursday and Friday, and one of my teammates, they attended a job fair on site sa Star Mall, and then now I'm here with you guys virtually. So, pinagmimix pa rin natin yung traditional job fair to what we have now. Now, we have what we call the digital platform, of course. Like what I mentioned, the branding team is, taking advantage of the digital platform, okay? Now, for the digital platform, nandyan lahat from social media and others. Like Jobs 180 then, okay? Well, we have resume, virtual resume, and others. So we could use that to submit our resume and to also look for job openings online. Now, we also have the interview and qualifications. Now, for the interview, before, traditional one is you have to visit their sites. So medyo hassle, especially if galing ka pa na malayo lugar and then you want to visit or to apply for a new job. Like sinabi ni Sir Kim last time na you have to really print, like if for example, plan mo pumunta ng 20 companies, then you have to print at least 20 resume and then isa-isa mo silang pupuntahan, isa-isa mo silang papasahan ng resume. Now, for the interview these days, we have what we call the phone interview na. So that is part of our initial interview, especially lalo din sa Inspiro, we have our phone interview. That's part of the initial interview. So, syempre, hindi namin gustong mahirapan yung mga applicants namin. So, ang first step ng process namin is really the initial interview through phone call. So, once done na sila doon, then they can visit the site for on-site assessments. Other companies, they're dividing it into different parts. Like, for example, may part na virtual and then may part na on-site. Kung ano naman yung kakayanin virtually, then companies would try to, adopt. Kasi sayang yung oras sa pagpunta ng mga applicants. Okay. Now, for the work environment, like what I mentioned, we are now on the new normal. So, of course, for the on-site, marami nandun naman nagbabalik RTO or return to work order ng mga companies now. So for that on-site, of course, no mask, no entry pa rin sa mga companies. We're also following the building policies for others. Now, alcohol and foot bath is always there. Temper check is also there. Mahirap na. We still want to be cautious and others. So, yan yung mga common na makikita nyo if you're going to have the work on-site arrangement. Also, of course, the daily health symptoms questionnaires. Now, since this is a hybrid setup or we're introducing the hybrid setup, there are companies that are, yung schedule nila is few days for work on site and then a few days for work at home. Okay. Now, in addition, for the work on site, for the workplace, workstation, every day, dinidisinfect yan and others para, of course, for your own safety na rin. Now, like what I mentioned, for the work from home, We have the equipment. You have to check your equipment. You have to have your laptop or desktop. Others are company provided. Internet connection, of course, because we rely heavily on the internet. And then you should have to have your own workspace. Or kung hindi man your own workspace, at least a corner sa inyong bahay kung saan kayo makakapagtrabaho ng tahimik at hindi kayo mai-istorbo. All right. So the new work norm, we're going to discuss about the productivity, meetings, and working hours. We also have the training and seminars. Okay. Now, syempre magbabago yan. Yung productivity natin, for example, pagdating sa pag nag-work from home ka, medyo mahihirapan tayo kasi ang dami nating ginagawa, ang daming distraction sa paligid, right? Unlike from working on-site, focus ka lang talaga dun sa kung anong gagawin mo. So you have to set boundaries kung ano ba talaga yung kailangan mong gawin from time to time. Now for meetings, still we have the on-site and virtual meetings. Others are, using both. May team na nagmi-meeting virtually and then may team na nag-work on-site. Now for working hours, companies are also being flexible with regards to that. Merong companies na nagbibigay ng half-half or it depends kung ano yung availability ng schedule mo and others. Training and seminars, still the same, virtual and on-site. And of course, we have different events as well that could cater both audiences. For example, those who are working on-site and those who are working from home. For example, for Inspiro, we have different events then. We are conducting virtual events then, but most of the time we're actually conducting on-site events since majority of our workforce are working on-site now. All right. So those are some of the glimpse of the new normal. Now we're going to talk about the 5 challenges of hybrid and how to work or to overcome them. Okay? Kasi when we say hybrid, yun nga yung work on site and then work from home. Ito yung new normal natin sa work arrangement. Now, let's have the first slide for this one. Now, we have what we call the 5C challenges. So that's communication, coordination, connection, creativity, and culture. Now, it's actually obvious that reliance on technology creates basic communication challenges. Mahirap yan. Like what I mentioned earlier, heavily reliant tayo sa internet, right? So if we have technical issues, mahihirapan tayo mag-work, right? Now, others they had to log in. They have difficulties when we first transitioned to fully remote work back in March 2020. But transition by hybrid working can be rocky too, right? So one executive recently told us that when their employees started returning to the office, they realized that their video conferencing system weren't fully up to the needs of the hybrid work setup. So they have to adjust pa. So may mga companies na they're asking to, upgrade the system, to upgrade the device and others, okay? So mahirap yan. What if tight yung budget natin, right? But kailangan natin mag-upgrade ng system or ng device. So that's another thing. Okay. Next is coordination. Now, all collaborative work involves coordination, but for working in hybrid, it's kind of difficult because teams presents significantly more coordination challenges than working face to face, right? Na-experience nyo yan nung online classes pa tayo, right? Medyo mahirap gumawa ng mga group activities kasi hindi nyo nakikita yung mga teammates nyo. Mahirap mag-assign ng mga assignments sa kanila and others. Same goes with the work environment. Mahirap yung coordination. Ang mahirap i-control yung team, especially with regards to remote sila. Mas madali talaga kapag face-to-face yung team. But of course, we have to adjust. Kailangan natin gawa ng paraan and let's meet halfway for that coordination. The risk is that medyo kailangan natin hanapan ng paraan kung paano tayo mag-work together as a team. Okay? So that's for coordination. Next is for connection. Of course, like what I mentioned, communication is not just limited to technology, but we also have the internet connection, right? Logical terms and others. Now, we have a big problem with regards to the social connection. Kasi syempre, for example, if you're working remotely, mag-isa ka lang sa bahay. ang hirap makipagsalamuha sa iba. Though nandiyan naman yung messenger or kung ano man yung ginagamit na messaging application ng company, but still, connection is different kumpara if you're going to work on site. Now, of course, we have the creativity as well. Two types of creativity are endangered actually by hybrid work. Why? Perhaps the most obvious one is creativity where people can brainstorm. All right. So we have again virtual meetings like Zoom, but programmed times and formats for generating ideas may not prove as fruitful as more fluid conversations like sidebars and unexpected things that can happen when we kick ideas around others or work intensively on solving a problem together. Right? So kapag nasa meeting kasi, of course, mas madali talaga kapag face-to-face kasi mas nakakapag-share kayo ng ideas, mas focus kayo with regards to the meeting. I'm not saying that hindi effective ang mga Zoom and virtual meetings, but magiging mas effective talaga kapag, alam mo yun, face-to-face yung mga ganap. And of course, for the culture, like creativity, this is also a challenge that, a lot are facing. Kasi with regards to the pandemic, masyado tayong nag-focus sa bahay or na-stuck tayo sa bahay, yung culture natin is magiging different na. One personal experience when we came back to the office, different culture na, different setup na, ang hirap na makarelate sa iba. Kasi medyo matagal kayo nakita-kita. So those are some of the 5 challenges that we have with regards to the hybrid setup. Now, of course, we have the 5 C's or the 5 checklist for that on how we could cope up or we could adjust to the challenges of the work setup these days. Now, there's no reason to think the 5 key challenges because it will go away anytime. So, kumbaga, masasanay din tayo or magagawan din natin yan ng paraan, right? But to begin with, let's focus first on evaluate. Now, for each of the 5 C's that were given to you, you have to self-grade or kailangan i-analyze mo yung sarili mo, evaluate yourself, okay? On how you think about working remotely, working hybrid, or working on-site. You always have a choice din naman, di ba? If ano yung mas sa tingin mo mas mag-work sa'yo. Companies are working, other companies are offering hybrid, other companies are offering pure on-site, others are offering pure work from home. So you still have the option, to choose from which company you want based on kung ano yung sa tingin mong mas makababagay sa'yo pagdating sa work. Alright, next, analyze. So identify the C you gave the lowest grade. Of course, then you have to work on that. For example, let's go back to the slide. For example, you're having a difficult time with regards to your communication and connection. Okay, so maybe the hybrid setup or the work from home won't be for you, right? Kasi mahirapan ka with regards to your device, internet connection. If you're more on the social person type, then better sa'yo na mag-work on site. Kasi mas lalabas yung creative juices mo and I think mas makakapag-work ka more productively kapag nag-work ka on site unlike working from home na ikaw lang mag-isa, right? So you have to analyze kung ano ba talaga yung pinaka-best or suitable for you. Alright, of course, we have plan, right? So you have to plan ahead kung ano ba yung gagawin mo. Starting with the C's you gave the lowest grade, consider of what you can do to make improvements, okay, in this area. Your aim, okay, one moment. Your aim is to develop, of course, your aim is to develop 3 action steps so that you can take to begin addressing the problems you have identified. Another example, if your weakest C is coordination, then you might come up with more effective ways to ensure everyone is looped or nakakausap mo sila or updated sila from time to time in all important details and discussion. Or a new schedule for ensuring more regular and structured information sharing sessions from time to time with your team, right? So at least magkakaroon kayo ng coordination. And lastly is for implement, set a clear schedule for implementing the challenges you plan to make and communicate plan for them. Now, they will be rolled out all for the several weeks. I-check natin kung mag-work ba yung plan, especially sa'yo, right? And then if not, let's go to another plan. Let's draft another plan and try to implement it on yourself. And then if not work, then okay. If not, let's go to a different plan again. Okay? So again, for the challenges that we have, of course, it's really important for us to evaluate, analyze, plan, and implement. Okay? We have to check or alamin natin yung sarili natin, kilalanin natin yung sarili natin kung saan ba tayo mas mag-work best. Okay? Like what I mentioned, we have a lot of opportunities out there, different companies, different work arrangement, and others. So you have to look for the best one for you. And of course, it's really important for you to take care of yourself, especially with regards to your mental health. Okay? So for that, in mas makakapag-work ka ng maayos. Okay? Now, I just want to share if you're interested in applying to our company. Inspiro is actually a BPO company wherein we cater to different clients and different products and others. Now, we have different site locations here in the Philippines. So, our delivery centers are located at NCR. So, we have at Makati City, Mandaluyong City, Pasig City, Quezon City. We also have our regional centers for Dumaguete and Iloilo. Now, get a career power up. If you want to submit your resumes, you could go to www.jobs180.com/inspiro. All right, so that will be all for me. Thank you so much for your time. Now, if you have any questions, okay, you're always free to ask. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sir Patrick, and thank you po for your presentation, for giving us a glimpse on what to expect to a different setup of work, like the hybrid setup, working on site and working from home po. Thank you so much. So guys, if you have questions with Sir Patrick and the topic, please don't be shy to post it sa ating comment section. Feel free to ask, okay? And yeah, Sir Patrick, here are the offline questions po. Number one. So, sir, how long does it take to get comfortable po in a new job?
Oh, that's a good question. Actually, it depends on the team that you're going to have, or it depends on the work that you're going to have.
Mm-mm.
Kasi di ba pagpasok nyo, training agad yan. So if your team or your training mates are very jolly and others, magiging comfortable ka kagad dun sa magiging ganap sa work. But it still depends on you kung gaano ka makakapag-adapt. So you really have to be friendly, try to ask questions as much as possible para maging familiar ka dun sa magiging work arrangement. Because the more familiar ka dun sa work, mas magiging comfortable ka, everyone around you, right?
That's right, sir. Thank you so much. Sir, how about, ano po, is it normal to struggle naman po at a new job as a job seeker po?
Yes, of course. Lalo if you're going to shift from one industry to another, or if
Mm-mm.
you really don't have an experience with regards to, the field that you're going to apply for. For example, you're going to enter a BPO industry. So, nandun talaga yung what we call culture shock. Kasi hindi yun yung, or let's say, hindi yun yung ine-expect mo, or hindi mo kasi alam kung ano yung mga mangyayari. Ano? Totally new. Empty yung cup mo. So, wala kang idea. So, yun dun talaga yung struggles. I personally, if I'm new sa job ko, when I was new in Inspiro, this is actually a different industry for me, career shift actually. It's kind of challenging. Hindi ko alam kung tama ba yung ginagawa ko. Hindi ko alam kung na-provide ko ba yung expectations ng company and others. But like what I mentioned, you really just have to ask questions as much as possible para maging familiar ka dun sa workarounds mo. Your teammate is always there to help you para ma-cope up yung struggle mo. And of course, you have to analyze yourself then kung ano ba yung dapat mong i-improve sa sarili mo. Tulungan natin yung isa't isa, right?
That's right, sir. Thank you so much, Sir Patrick. And how about for those working from home po? How can we foster trust among teammates who seldom see one another in person?
That's a good one because I actually started, here sa Inspiro nung pandemic. So work from home talaga kami that time. What we do is sorry. All right.
Yes,
So
sir.
yeah.
It's okay po.
Yeah, what we do normally is we try to reach out to one another like after our shift magkakaroon kami ng team huddle or from time to time magkakaroon
Mm-mm.
kami ng team huddle mag-meet kami sa Google Meet or sa Teams and others para lang makapag-catch up on a daily basis. Since hindi namin kilala yung isa't isa personally, hindi kami maging awkward as a team. So, yun, nagkaroon kami ng bonding kahit virtual lang, and I could say na naging friends naman kami kahit virtually. Kaya nung nagkita-kita kami on-site, parang, wala, nakita na, parang kahabol lang kami nagkita, parang work on-site pa rin yung pinagsimulan namin lahat. So, try to keep connections din from your team from time to time. Wag yung, since remote ka, focus ka lang dun sa pagiging remote mo. No, you have to still reach out to your team members as well.
Thank you so much, Sir Patrick. That is right, guys. Okay. And then, last question po. How about for those job seekers naman po na who are willing to apply or send their applications with Inspiro? What expectations they can get naman po from your company?
All right. So, we actually have a one-day hiring process from our company. So, once you submit your resume, we're going to have a brief check on your resume, and then we're going to call you as soon as possible. So, what we advise is to always keep your lines as open as possible once you submit your resume, because we're going to have the initial interview once we are available, or once we are ready to take your application. And then after that, kapag nakapasa kayo sa initial interview and others, tuloy-tuloy na yan. This is a one-day hiring process. By the way, we accept different types of employment. We're also open for internships and others. So if you want, you could always send your resume to us. Again, that's www.jobs180.com/inspiro.
Thank you so much, Sir Patrick. I think that will be the last question since sobrang mahiya na talaga ng mga audience natin or they don't have questions pa talaga. Okay, so no worries, Sir Patrick. Thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing your time with us. And we are looking forward to have you to our next set of webinars as well. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Sir Patrick.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. And for those who are interested with Inspiro, please do not forget to visit www.jobs180.com/Inspiro. All right. We are now going to our next speaker with a topic leading without a title, how to make a difference regardless of the position. She has been in the industry for more than 10 years, handling different phases of HR, and she started with outbound sourcing, then moved to end to end recruitment processing to facilities and employee relations to talent marketing, and now handling university partnerships and linkages. The Senior Associate Talent Attraction and Talent Acquisition from Ernst& Young, Miss Yel December Palomares. Hi, Miss Yel. Good morning po.
Hi, Maria. Good morning. Please allow
Yes,
me to share my screen.
yeah, sure, ma'am.
Okay, so I hope you can see my screen now.
It's still loading po. All right, there you are. Yes, ma'am, I can see your screen now since it's up. I'll be right back after 20 minutes for the Q&A. Good luck, ma'am, y'all.
20 minutes. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, hi everyone. Good morning. So I hope you're able to take your breakfast and that you can hear me loud and clear. So again, I'm Yel Palomares from Ernst& Young Global Delivery Services Philippines. If you're not familiar with Ernst& Young, EYGDS is actually one of the Ernst& Young is one of the big four accounting firms worldwide. Okay, so but without further ado, allow me to impart some knowledge to you this morning. I hope you'll be able to um, learn a thing or two from this discussion. So, our topic for this morning is how to make a difference regardless of the position. Okay, so first off, be transparent. Okay, so again, this is regardless of the position. You don't need to have a title. Don't need to be a CEO. But these sets of reminders or pieces of advice came from different CEOs from different companies for us to be at least guided, so that we'll have tips based from their experiences. Okay, so why do you need to be transparent? Of course, honesty and vulnerability are key characteristics of a great leader. Okay, so I'm sure even with your school events, projects, group projects, let's say, you appreciate a leader who's honest or who's very much who is a very much straightforward type of person, wherein if you're experiencing, let's say, a struggle or challenges, they'll be able to inform you right away, seek for your, let's say, your thoughts, your inputs, right? Because employees remember leaders who are accountable to their mistakes and to the team. Of course, you don't want a type of leader who'll um, suddenly backs out if there's a problem, or doesn't tell you that there's a certain problem already that's building up, and then kapag sumabog na, that's the time that you'll be informed. And then some even tends to, unfortunately, some tends to blame the rest of the group. Okay, so of course we don't want that. So there, we need a kind of leader, regardless of how small, let's say, the group is, someone that who can be straightforward with us, who's professional and will be able to handle difficult situations, right? Second, of course, no excuses. Okay, so consistent leaders mitigate risk and account for the unexpected, and they find ways to deliver on what's promised regardless of what gets in the way. So, meaning they should have at least a foresight, meaning they see beyond what is currently happening, and then whatever that is, whatever the goal is, their aim is to reach that goal. Okay, but it doesn't mean that that you will do things that are not correct or unlawful or illegal, just to get, or just to make sure that you get the prize, right? Or you'll um, bring home the bacon or something. So of course, if that is your certain goal, they need to have plan A, plan B, plan C. They need to be consistent. Okay, so they need to plan ahead. Okay, carefully plan your steps, and then of course need to be guided accordingly. Okay, so even, I'm sure, at home, in school, right? That's what we want. If there's a certain goal, even for you guys, even simple task, let's say, if your goal is to be able to save this certain amount for you to be able to, let's say, watch a concert based on the recent events this weekend, right? So if that's your goal, of course, you want to reach that goal without no excuses whatsoever. You need to focus, be motivated, plan carefully your steps. Okay, you don't need to, like, create huge steps that are at for you will be extra difficult or unattainable. Okay, so of course, even sabi nga nila, even baby steps are considered steps. Okay, so you just need to make sure that you'll be able to reach whatever target you've created in the specific time that you want it to be reached. So that's what's important. Okay. Third is, I hope I'm not being too fast for you guys, but third is, it's better that you give your teammates, or if ever you'll be a leader, eventually a supervisor or a manager in the long run, you need to give them space. Okay, nor usually most of the employees or group mates, they don't want to be micromanaged, meaning they don't want you to be always in their neck. 'Di ba? Parang sometimes if this happens with you, parang minsan it's even a lot more difficult to work if parang lagi lang nandyan sa tabi mo, and like nakatutok sa kung anong ginagawa mo, then lagi nakakomento, lagi may sinasabi, lagi lang sa tabi mo, parang kino-correct or pinapanood ka. Okay, so employees don't want that. Well, not speaking like 100%, but most employees don't want being micromanaged. Okay, so it's best that for you to develop talent, or let's say if you're right now, if you're a senior high school, I believe there are senior high schools here, so senior high school students here who are watching. So even if as simple as a group project that you are, an event that you are leading, of course it's best to encourage and provide space for your colleagues or for your group mates. Okay, to be able for them to be able to grow, be inspired, and then it means that you're open for their ideas as well, right? So you just need to give them resources. If you're the leader, give them guidance. If you have, let's say, modules that you have or some things that help you be guided through that path, let's say if there's a book that you read for you to be able to, improve yourself, if you think that will be helpful, then you can share it, right? But you don't need to um, be just beside them every time, okay, because they won't have ample space to express their thoughts, to do their job well. They will be extra pressured, okay? So there. So you need to believe that they can do it, of course, with the help of your guidance. Then believe that you can reach whatever goal is set based on that project or event or whatnot. Okay. Four is, of course, ask for feedback. Okay. So we need to foster an open work environment. This might be difficult at first, especially if you're not used to getting feedback, and if you're the type of person who's extra sensitive, then this might, sometimes you might feel that you're being attacked. Okay, so please don't feel that way. Okay, so make sure that, at first it's like that, but eventually you'll get used to it because companies, industries nowadays, even in school, right? Feedback is really appreciated, greatly appreciated. Okay, because it shows us what are our strengths, our weaknesses, right? It's not, if we talk about feedback, it's always on the negative side. Okay, it's not that way. So it talks about how your performance went, right? So what went wrong, what went right. Okay, so if this is the list of what went right, then maintain that or do that once you have the same situation, right? But if this the list of what went wrong, then what can we do afterwards? Okay, so we need to be, of course, open in taking in feedback so that you'll be able to improve your overall performance, right? So next is let failure fuel you. Okay, so it's how failure changes you. That's important. Okay, so we fail every now and then. Actually, that's how we learn. And sometimes if we sometimes sabi nga nila, sometimes you need to learn the hard way. Okay, but still, if you made a mistake, you might need extra strength, of course, to collect yourself, breathe, and once you're feeling okay, then you can just list it down. Okay, what steps led you to that certain mistake? How can you avoid that in the long run? Okay, again, for my point of view, it will still be better if you wait for yourself to be ready. Sometimes kasi the struggle is that you're still in the hurting phase, and then you force yourself to take in the error. Okay, then you get depressed, you feel down, you feel demotivated. So for me, what I do is that I give myself a little breathing ground. Okay, let's say after, it might take like a few hours or sometimes even days. It depends on how huge the mistake was, or regardless if it's a struggle or an error you um, committed in your life or at work or in school or in your family or something like that. So you just need to make sure that you're able to get up. Diba? Cliche as it may sound, they say it's not how many times you fall, but how many times you stand up and, fight again and live again. Okay, so again, kahit naman tayo, like ako, when I started, when it was my first job, second job, there actually even now, okay, there are things that I miss. Then it led to a loss, whether minor or major. Then what I do is I make sure I try to be discerning. Okay, is it really my fault? If it is, then I need to be brave and admit that it was my miss. It was a miss on my end, and then I'll tell my boss that I apologize for this, for what happened. I assure you that this will not happen again. And then, as much as possible, of course, you don't want to make excuses. So if you were wrong, then you were wrong. You just need to admit that you were wrong and move forward. Okay. Or, as much as possible, of course, you don't want to point fingers as well. Okay. Try to avoid that. It's not helpful. It's done, it's over with. You just need to think of ways on how to move on and how to improve and not let the same thing happen again. Okay. So there, think long term. So don't get so lost in day-to-day crisis that you lost sight of the bigger picture. Meaning, you need to be patient, focus, and stay dedicated. That's why sometimes it helps that you have like your dream board. I'm not sure if you have that, or like just a small, maybe online, or maybe what they call this, an illustration board, or a Pinterest board or something. So that helps you stay focused. Okay, when there are times that it's really like you're having a rough day, it's a Monday, or just right after vacation, diba? It's hard to pull yourself, diba? Or sometimes when you're being challenged or struggling, sometimes you forget um, what is our biggest why, diba? So that's what they normally call it, your biggest why. Think of who or what that is. Is it your family? Is that what keeps you going? I mean, or is it like your personal goal? You want to travel more, you want to have your own car, your own place, or do you want to like be able to reach your dreams, let's say of becoming a doctor, engineer, lawyer, or whatnot? Okay, so same with at work. Okay, think long term. So you make sure that you see the bigger picture. Okay, so there. And next is find what's missing. Okay, so successful leaders step outside themselves to find opportunity. Okay, so you need to make sure that you just not fulfill a need but or solve a problem, but of course you need to open your mind. Okay, have that certain mindset wherein you need to check all angles. At work, for example, what's missing, how can we improve, how can we level up, what can be my value add for this certain project. Okay, I'm sure at school ganun din on your end. Let's say you have this certain project that was given to you. There are people, especially those proactive students who are like a go-getter type of person. They're thinking of, I cannot just submit this paperwork. I should think of what I can add to make it better or to go above and beyond what's being asked of me. Okay, so next is protect your options. So don't give an undue power to someone. Okay, especially at work when the time comes that you'll be working already. So make sure that you trust that certain someone, or it's really important. It's a vital thing, and it's not confidential. The information that you're sharing, okay, because you need to make sure that you have the company's best interest at heart. Even when you represent your school, if you go out, if you have events, okay, of course you need to make sure that you have St. Michael's interest at heart. Will this harm the reputation of your school? If if you behave this way, will it reflect um, to your school? Will it reflect your family? Okay, so you need to be mindful of that. So there. Next is start slow. So um I remember this show that I recently finished watching. Okay, so I love how the main character started really slow. He started with a very, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the show, but it started with he started with a really small pub, and then no one believed that he can do it, and then eventually he was able to reach his target after a few years. No, actually, like I think more than 10 years, but still, he ended up getting the target, or reaching the goal that he set for himself, right? So it might be a slow start for you. You might feel that why is it that people my age are were able to get this already? Why am I being stuck at this position? Especially when you started working, sometimes you feel that people my age are already in a supervisor position, but why am I still in an entry level position? I'm really capable of having this, having that. Okay, so again, what I suggest is that you appreciate, those small wins. And then whether you start slow or you start fast, still, the important thing is that you reached your goal. So you might, because we have different pace. Some might start a bit faster, some might start a bit slower, a little later. Okay, I know that because I felt the same way when I started working. There's a personal thing that happened to me, and then I kind of what they call this, worked a little later than the usual. And then sometimes I feel um what they call this, frustrated because people my age are already in director level, senior manager level, something like that. And what I've learned is that it's really, it will be a difficult thing for you if you keep on comparing yourself to others. If you think comparing yourself to others will motivate you, then well and good. But if you think if is it has like a toxic effect on you, then don't. Okay, don't compare yourself because you don't know how they were able to achieve that. Sometimes you don't know the struggles that they went through, the challenges that they went through. Okay, you need to appreciate yourself for what you've accomplished. It might be small for you, but you'll never know. Well, on your point of view, it might be a little progress, but from others' point of view, it is already a lot, and still it is progress, right? So, so there. So when you see like this example, under gravity payments, the CEO of the gravity payments, um, he was just a guy in a band organizing the financial system for the coffee shop, and then right now he's already a CEO. Same with the show that I'm trying to tell you a while ago. He wasn't able to graduate high school. He was an ex-convict, and then people doesn't didn't believe that he'll be able to grow the business because who'll trust and you know a person who didn't even finish high school, right? But eventually, due to hard work, his own mindset, how he um, was always motivated, he didn't give up, right? So still he was able to do it. Okay, so don't feel demotivated if you feel like you're struggling or you're stagnant. Okay, sometimes it's all in your head. Okay, sometimes you just don't appreciate your small wins. So there. And the next, embrace competition. Okay, so competition is the lifeblood of entrepreneurship. Okay, so the more competition, the more opportunity. Okay, so why? Because if you're open to competition, especially if it's a healthy competition in school, at home, at work, okay, so are able to see different angles of their ideas of this project, and it will make you think, right? So if this is the brilliant idea, then how can I be creative with it? How can I be able to go beyond it? Okay, so this is another thing that actually personally I'm curious about, right? There are a lot of coffee shops nowadays, a lot of milk tea shops, a lot of cafes. But how does it happen that some who are new players in the industry were still able to be on top of things, right? There are coffee shops that are in the country for several decades now, and there are some who are just starting, but still their sales are up there. So what are they doing right? Okay, so meaning that they can see still opportunity that's there, even though there's a lot of entrepreneur in the country with the same business. Or let's say if you're in school, right? So how can you use it in school? So let's say if you have this certain um, project, or let's say your thesis or whatnot, okay, that you have the certain idea which is somehow was created by several batches before you, then you can review it, try to look for improvements, try to look on a different angle, think outside the box, as they say. Okay, and then you can, you might be surprised to what new thing you can create with that. Okay, and eventually, if you'll again be a supervisor, senior manager, director, whatnot, of course, you'll, if you're the type of person whose aim is to be, an employee of a certain company. Okay, or actually, even if you're eyeing to be a businessman, businesswoman, you just need to remember always that your strength is in your staff. Okay, so though of course clients are important, and and there are a lot of things that are also important within the company or within your business. You just need to make sure that you need to know how to develop your staff and turn them into leaders. Okay, this another personal experience that I had, a life lesson actually, for me, when one of my boss in my previous company actually talked to me about it. And well, just shared his story that what he's counting for himself, um, is that how many staff of his was he able to promote. For him, that's how he measures his success. So yun. So he told me that when he received a phone call that two of her team members again will be promoted to a senior post, then he was so elated. He told me that he was so proud of himself. It's like this, it's sixth person that he was able to promote, so he felt fulfilled because he was able to develop and make that person stand out or shine. Wherein, in fact, during the first years of those staff, they seemed struggling, but through his guidance they were able to be promoted faster than the usual. So that's a sign that you're a good leader. Okay, because we're able to help your staff develop. Okay, so and if you're into business, your customers will see that when your staff is happy, they're able to perform well. They will be able to perform better, stay in the company or in the business longer. Okay, and it will reflect. Okay, if the staff are happy, then eventually they'll be able to make their clients happy. Okay, so it's like a domino effect. And that's it for me. So before we end, for employment applications, please do check out our job opportunities via our Jobs 180 account, www.jobs180.com/EYGDS, or you can send us your resume link at campusrecruitmentph@gds.ey.com. Okay, back to you, Maria.
Yes, Miss Yao, thank you so much for that. Thank you for sharing us and how to make a difference even without a title. Thank you so much, Miss Yao. And guys, if you do have questions with the topic and Miss Yao, please do not forget and don't be shy to post it sa ating comment section. All right. So, Miss Yao, here are the offline questions pa. All right. So, Mom, how can you become a leader without necessarily having a title or position?
Well, I believe we are leaders in our own way, whether
Mm-hmm.
it is at home, in school, and being a leader doesn't necessarily mean that you have staff below you. Okay, so you just need to have the qualities of a leader, and then eventually it will flow. Okay, so you should be, transparent. You should have that certain command, and you have people skills. Okay, those are the things that normally you need to practice, because sometimes there are people who are really smart, really confident, but surprisingly they're not really leaders because they don't have the people skills. Because what for me, a good leader is those who can inspire their people and who can create a certain positive environment within them or within the group. Okay, so there.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Follow-up questions po. What is the use of having a title if you can simply lead someone without a title po?
That's a good question. Okay, so well, let's say for me, I'm a senior
Mhm.
associate. So it's like two notches above the entry level for our company, because per notch is like there's three more steps, something like that. So, but I don't have direct staff below me. There are some who are just reporting to me every now and then, but still I cannot say that I'm in a managerial post. So, but I can still lead because I believe that I'm still a leader, because if I have projects, campus events, I'm the one who's assigned. I'm the POC. I can create like the start and the end of the project, take care of it, ask help from my teammates, and they'll be able to help me in terms of attending this event. So still, you're leading. Okay, it doesn't mean that I need to have direct reports within the team. Okay, so there.
Yes, Miss Yao. All right, but thank you so much. Ma'am, how about yung ano po? Or how do you think a title define us?
Hmm. Well, I'm not sure for other countries though, but as
Mm-hmm.
I notice in the Philippines, it's really something that sad to say, people tend to judge you in terms of the title. So if they see that in your business card you're a director, they kind of treat you differently, right, compared to like an entry level post. But still, of course, all those people with titles, whether it's director, senior manager, or whatnot, they started as an entry level post, or at least second level after the entry level. So and then they were able to climb the corporate ladder. So I believe that for that matter, you should just simply make sure to work hard, have a concrete goal. Okay, and
Mm-mm.
then if you don't need, because sometimes it depends on the industry. Sometimes, for I've noticed that for this industry, even though they're already the senior manager, compared to this industry, which is a level two only, the level two person has even a higher salary than the senior manager from this industry. So I think that's why BPOs and shared services like us are really famous for giving, for at least providing
Mm-mm.
better benefits, and not just monetary but upskilling and all. So for me, it depends within which industry you're part of, because it doesn't, I mean, it doesn't really define your capabilities and your what you can do based on your title. I was able to be part of a team wherein someone came in. He was like a country head, or I think country head, but surprisingly, he wasn't regularized. Okay, because he wasn't able to perform in our group. So, and we were curious how he became a country head. And then with all that's happened in just, I think, 3 months, he was out of the team. So that clearly shows that it doesn't define you. It's really based on how you work and how you are as a person.
That's right, ma'am. I believe on that as well. Thank you so much. I think that will be my last question po. Guys, don't be shy to ask question, okay? Thank you so much, Miss Yell, and
Thanks, Maria.
for sharing your time with us today and your knowledge po. Thank you so much. All right.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Yes po, goodbye po. Yes, for those who are interested to apply with EYGDS, please do not forget to visit www.jobs180.com/EYGDS. Thank you so much. We are now down to our last topic, how to create an impression in applying. She is a licensed professional teacher with TESOL and EFL certificate. She started her career as a corporate trainer with experience in staff development, leadership training, communication, and curriculum development way back 2017. With a strong background in delivering training, Roan joined the VXI family and started her journey as a training specialist last 2021. The talent acquisition trainer from VXI, Miss Roan May Dizon-Berog. Hello, Ma'am Roan. Good morning po.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Yes, ma'am. Since your screen is up po, I'll be right back after 20 minutes for the Q&A. Good luck, ma'am.
Thank you. Hi everyone, my name is Ro. A lot of people call me Ro. It's kind of a mouthful if people will call me Ro, and it's easier. Okay, anyway, I'm from VXI and I'm part of the talent acquisition team. Now, this topic is very close to my heart because as part of my job, I do everything I can to help people to be part of the team or to get the job. Okay, so my topic for today is how to make an impact in an interview. Now, an interview, a lot of people will think that this is something that they need to be nervous about. Okay, so even me myself, if I can remember correctly, the first time I got interviewed, I can't even speak more than two sentences. hmm I'm so nervous. Now, it is really a great opportunity for people right now to be able to access the internet. This time around, you can research of what to say, what to do, what not to do. Okay. Now, for today, that is we're going to talk about. Now, if you're going to look at this is going to be our takeaways. All right. I'm going to teach you, I'm going to let you guys know as part of the talent acquisition team what are the things that you need to do, what are the things that you can't, how are you going to make a lasting first impression. Mhm. And it is important for us to be confident while we're in an interview. Now, the only question here is if we need to be confident, how are we going to do that? Okay. Especially if it's our first time. Okay. Now, what is an impression? Now, an impression is our idea, our opinion, what we think about that specific person. Okay. Now, there's this thing that we say first impression lasts. Okay. Now, given that, we need to make sure that the first time that they're going to talk to us, they're going to feel that we're very confident and they're going to remember us. Okay. Now, here's the thing. In a day, usually hindi lang isa, dalawa, or tatlong candidate yung ini-interview natin. Most of the time, sa sobrang dami, we can't remember everyone. Okay, and that's what's going to set you apart from the other candidates if we will remember you. Okay, so that is why we need to really make sure to really reflect on how we can make a lasting impression. Okay, now we do have here three different periods. First off, what are the things that you need to do before the interview? Okay. We're also going to talk about what do you need to do during the interview day itself. And of course, what are you going to do after the interview? Okay. Now, let's talk about before the interview. Okay. Now, a lot of you guys will get a text message or even a call or an email saying that you're going to be interviewed, what's a specific time, when will it be, and where is it going to happen. Okay. Now, they will usually send you a message or an email 2 days prior or even a week before. So you don't have the excuse to say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know anything about your company." So let's start with number one. You have to research the company and the interviewers, okay, if it's possible. Now, it's important that you understand key information about the company that you're applying for. Okay, what do they do? Do they have a mission? Do they have a vision? hmm And now, using the company's website, just like what I mentioned earlier, you guys are very lucky, okay, because you do now have um, access to the internet. It's easier for you guys to just click on this website, social media post, social media account for you guys to know what they do. hmm Now, it's also important that you know the company's goal and the background, hmm because most likely they need to know whether or not you're suitable for that specific company. hmm Number two is you need to practice your interview questions. Now, this is something that you will jump in firsthand whenever you receive a text message. What am I gonna say? And what are the questions that I'm gonna get? Right? Okay, but don't forget number one. Okay. All right. It's important. Number two is very important, but number one is also important. Okay. You need to research about the company before you get to practice the interview questions. Now, whenever you're practicing interview questions, a lot of people might think that whenever an interviewer is going to say, "Tell me about yourself," it is just for practice purposes or just to get to know you better. It's not the beginning of the interview yet. It's just a very casual conversation. Actually, not. Okay. Um, a lot of people will say, uh, talk about their address, their hobbies, right? What they like, what they don't like. Whenever an interviewer is going to tell them, tell me about yourself. Okay, it's okay to incorporate a couple of things such as your hobbies, okay, what you like and you don't like. However, tell me about yourself is specifically for us to know, okay, what do you do, or what are your skills, okay, your background and your experiences. So take it seriously. Tell me about yourself question is a great way for you to quickly communicate who you are and what you value and what you're going to bring in the company. Okay? All right, this is also your elevator pitch. Okay, this is what you're going to use um, for them to stay interested, okay, or to be interested in you. So that's number one tip for practicing interview questions, such as tell me about yourself. Now, I do have a tip. You should come prepared to discuss your salary expectations too. Okay, during an interview, um, they will ask you what's going to be your salary expectation and why do you think that's going to be a good amount for you. And just like what I mentioned the first time, you researching about a company is going to be handy. Now, you go to, there are a lot of websites that you can go to and to go to the salary calculator if it's possible, or to ask someone from the company. And from there, you can base your range. Okay, don't just give one specific amount, go for a range. For example, what I'm saying for a range is I'm expecting 20,000 to 25,000. That is a range. You're not just simply saying I'm expecting 21,550 pesos. That's going to be really, really exact. Okay, come up with a range. Okay, based it on your location, your industry, and of course your experience as well. Okay, you cannot just simply go with a standard. hmm And if you know to yourself that you do have a lot more experience than the others, all right? And then let's talk about number three. Reread the job description. Now, the job description will usually be available online in their job posting. If not, you can go ahead and research more about the job description. If the only thing provided is a job title, you can just research more about the job title. And from there, you can see the job description. Now, why do you need to reread the job description? Now, it's very important for us to know the job description because you need to know whether this is for you or not. hmm You may want to print it out and uh, here's another tip and begin underlining specific skills that your employer is looking for. For example, this account is only for bilingual candidates. When I say bilingual, you can speak two languages. On the other hand, you as a candidate, you know to yourself that you can only speak one. All right. It is there in the job description that they need a bilingual candidate. Now you're going to be wasting your time. Okay. It is very crucial for you to reread the job description over and over until you get to understand the skills being required by your employer or what are they really looking for. And then think about examples from your past and current work that aligned with these requirements. Now, here's the thing most of you guys here don't have job experience yet. Okay, but you do have your OJT, or let's just say you used to work for a part time post before. Okay, you can still come up with some of those skills, and then think about some work experience, some scenarios that happened in the past from your past uh, part-time job or from your OJT, and try to relate it. Okay, and then tell them that you can agree, all right, or you can, let's just say that you can relate to that requirement because you do have some past experience doing that. Okay, so that let's just do a quick recap before I go to the next page. Do your research about the company, it's very important. Mhm. They need to know if you are really interested. Okay, they will ask you some questions whether or not you know about their product or services in their company as a whole. So it's important that you know about it. Number two is you need to practice your interview questions. Okay, my tip is to take tell me about yourself question really seriously. Okay, this is going to be your chance to let them know, quickly communicate um, your value. What can you add in the company? Okay, and of course, be prepared to answer questions about salary, your expectations. Okay, just like what I mentioned before, you can also research about it. And give them a range. Number three is to reread the job description. Okay, it is important for you to know what are the skills that you're looking for. Okay, now let's go to our next slide. We do have here number 4. Mhm. It says here, use the STAR method. Okay, now method stands for stories, tell stories, um, using a clear format, which is situation for letter S, the task, the action, and the result. Okay, for example, there's going to be some questions wherein you will be asked to explain or tell a story. Okay, it's going to be easier if you're going to organize your thoughts using the STAR method. Okay, talk about the situation. Where did it happen? How did it happen? The task, what did you do? The action, all right, your action plan, and then your result. Okay, what happened? Was it successful? Was it not successful? And if ever that it's not successful, how are you going to make it better? Or your actions to make it better? That is the STAR method. Okay. Now, number 5, you have to practice answering questions with someone. Now, here's the thing. It is very common that you guys, together with your friends, are going to be handing out resumes to different companies, and you do have your friend with you. Why not make your time productive and or even a day before the interview, go to a coffee shop or somewhere quiet, and you go ahead and practice answering questions with one another. I highly suggest that whenever you're doing the practice session with your friends or with someone, you do it face to face, especially if the interview is going to happen face to face. Now you will see their body language. Are they nervous? All right. Do they have a habit of that they need to correct? All right. Are they not looking at you, or maybe they're too shaky for you? And from there, you can help one another. Mhm. And it's going to make you be more prepared, given that it's like a simulation. It's like you're doing it, um, you can imagine yourself doing it, and that's going to be better. Okay. And number 6 is to prepare a list of references. Okay. Now, um, for the references, it is really ideal that you're going to get someone you know and who knows you, or someone who can remember you, someone who you think will say something good about you, or someone who can vouch for you. All right. So prepare at least probably 3 people, okay, and then inform them beforehand that you're gonna be using their name as a reference, because believe it or not, we are really calling the list of people that you're going to be giving us. All right. And it's going to be a little bit awkward if we're going to be mentioning your name and they don't know you. All right. So make sure that you're going to give them a heads up. Hi, I hope you can still remember me. I'm one of your students from this class, and I'm going to be using your name for my reference list. Okay, just let them know and ask permission. Will it be okay if I'm going to be giving out your number to them? They're going to be calling you. All right, it's important that you let them know and you ask permission as well. Okay, so let's just do a quick recap. STAR method. STAR stands for situation, task, action, and result. Number five is for you to practice with someone. If the interview is going to be online, practice doing it online. All right? If the interview is going to be face to face, practice it with a friend or with someone, do it face to face. All right? Number six, you have to prepare for a list of references. Now, your interviewers might require you to submit a list of references before or after the interview. Having a reference list prepared ahead of time can help you to quickly complete this step to move forward in the hiring process. All right? Be careful with the reference list. Make sure that these people they know you, they can remember you, and you gave them a heads up that they will receive a call from the hiring manager or from someone from HR. Okay, all right. So let's move forward. Number seven, be prepared with examples of your work. Now, here's the thing. If you're going to be applying in this industry, we don't ask for your examples of work. Okay. What we usually do is we ask you to do a mock with us. Like, for example, you're going to be answering calls. You need to do a mock call with us. And with that, you have to be prepared as well. Okay. Now, doing a mock call or um, is very important because everyone needs to know that we do it. We really need to do it. We do it. So go to YouTube, go online, and just research some situations and you practice with a friend. Now, during the interview, you'll likely be asked about specific work or what you do or what you used to do, and you have to be prepared for that as well. After you're done reviewing the job description, think of a work you've done in the past. If you do have a part-time job before, or if you've completed your OJT, okay, that's going to be a good example as well. That shows that you have experience and success doing the work that they require. All right. Even though it's not entirely the same, it's okay. It's fine. They will understand if you're a newbie. Just come up with some situations that you can relate to. Okay. Number eight, prepare smart questions for your interviewers. Now, a lot of people might think that it's an interview. They're supposed to be the one to interview me. I'm not supposed to ask questions. Actually, not. Okay, it's gonna be better if you're gonna be asked. If you're gonna ask something, especially if it's not clear to you, you can ask questions to clarify, to verify, to confirm. Um, and interviewers, let's just say, interviews, on the other hand, it's like a two-way process. It's a two-way street. They don't just ask you. You can ask questions back. All right. Employers expect you to ask questions. For example, some of the questions that you can think about. What do they do on a regular basis? Okay, what's going to be the day-to-day task for this job position? You can ask those kinds of things. All right. And of course, I am here to give you some examples. All right. These are some good examples. All right. Number one is, can you explain some of the day-to-day responsibilities this job entails? This is what I'm talking about earlier. So you will have an idea of what they do, what you need to accomplish on a day-to-day basis. Another question, how would you describe the characteristics of someone who would succeed in this role? Okay, of course, everyone needs to be successful in this, in the role that they're applying to, and you have to be prepared. That's why you're going to be asking the interviewer for some tips, recommendations, all right? And they will really appreciate it. Mhm. Number two, number three, what departments does this team teamwork with regularly? Does this team work with regularly? So, do they collaborate with a specific department? Do you need to work with another department? You can ask these kinds of questions too. Number four, how do these departments typically collaborate? Okay, and of course, you have to be prepared as well. They will probably ask you questions back. How can you work with a team? Right? Are you going to be okay with working with this department? Are you okay collaborating with them? Right? All right. So let's go to the next one. Now we're done with the things that you need to do before the interview. Okay, you have to really prepare, do a lot of research, and do a lot of practice. Now we're going to talk about the interview day itself. Okay, what are you going to do the day of the interview? So we do have number one. You have to plan your interview attire the night before. Okay. Now, a lot of you guys will think, I just need to wear something nice. Okay. I just need to look presentable. Yes, that's true. However, uh, please be reminded that during the interview day itself, you might feel anxious. You might be thinking of a lot of things. So it's better to be prepared than to cram the next day. Right? So expect that you will need to be there earlier. Okay, and you don't want to be ironing your clothes the day itself. Okay, or asking your mom to iron your clothes for you. It's best if you're gonna do it the day before, okay, or the night before. Now we're going to talk about what are the things that you can wear and the things you can't wear during the interview later on. Okay. Now, number 10. mhm, Take at least five copies of your printed resume if you are this kind of traditional person. But I highly suggest, given that we do have a lot of our resources are now online, it's better if you're going to create your online resume instead and just give them a copy of a printed resume card if you do have one. Okay, just print it out and make sure that it looks clean, it looks presentable, it's not crumpled. They can easily read it. You're not going to be using weird and so fancy. Let's just say, let's go back to basics. Uh, it's better to make use of basic fonts instead of the fancy cursive uh, fonts that we do have. It's easier for them to read your name, read the informations in the card. Okay, all right, and make sure that whenever you're sending out your resume, uh, you were able to review all the details inside. Uh-huh. Make sure that all the informations there is updated, especially your contact information. Mm-hmm. And don't forget to bring a pen and a small notebook for note taking as well. All right. Uh, Especially because a lot of companies will require you to do a quick assessment. hmm So it's going to be difficult for you to borrow a pen from another candidate, right? Or if you're gonna go to 7-Eleven just to buy a pen, it's going to be expensive. All right. So bring a pen, bring a notebook on the day of the interview. Write information down so you can refer to these details later in your follow-up thank you notes. Later on, I'm going to talk to you about how are you going to do a follow-up and thank you note for your interviewer. Okay? But you have to take note of the details, for example, her name, her position, okay? And some other important details. Number 11, plan to arrive 10 to 15 minutes early. Don't go there an hour early or even 2 hours earlier. Okay, that's going to be, um, let's just say, it's not going to be good for you. You're going to be anxious for 2 hours. All right, your brain's going to be tired thinking of what's going to happen for 2 hours. Okay, I highly suggest be there. If you don't want it 10 to 15, probably 20 minutes to 30 minutes. Especially if you're this kind of person who wants to see the place, who wants to um, let's just say, prepare yourself, what's gonna happen, or if you're too anxious, and you, oh, or here's the thing, we're here in the Philippines. Traffic is very unpredictable. So go there and consider that you might experience some difficulties going there, or if you're not pretty sure of where the exact building is or the exact floor it is, just go ahead and be early. But don't overdo it. Don't do it an hour or 2 hours before. 30 minutes is okay. 10 to 15 is the ideal. Okay? All right. Now, map out your route to the interview location so you can be sure to arrive on time. Consider doing a practice run before your interview day. If you're taking public transportation, identify a backup plan if there are delays or closures. I do have a tip. When you arrive early, use the extra minutes to observe the workplace dynamics. Okay? Just take a look at the office itself. What are they doing? Okay, and the mood, your expectations, okay, and try to walk around a little bit if you still do have time, so you will not feel so nervous during the interview itself. Okay, now let's go to the next one. We're still talking about the interview day itself. Number 12, make a great first impression. Now, this is what we're eyeing for. This is our goal. How are we going to do it? Okay, don't forget that little things matter. Okay, for example, your nails. Okay, let's just say if you're wearing a dirty pair of shoes. Okay, shine your shoes, make sure your nails are clean and tidy. Check your clothes for any holes, for any stains. If you own a cat just like me, I don't usually wear black because you're gonna be seeing pet hair all over my dress. If I'm gonna be wearing black, make sure that you're going to consider those things and remember to smile. It's really important that you guys smile. All right, you're a whole different personality, whole different person whenever you smile. Okay. Number 13, treat everyone you encounter with respect. Now, here's the thing. In our industry, we don't require uniform. We don't ask people to wear a specific kind of logo or a shirt, or you will never know if it's a candidate or if that person you're talking to is already part of the HR department, or maybe he's a manager, something like that. So it's best to greet everyone and treat them with respect. All right? Okay, you will never know. You will never know who is who. All right? So this includes those on the road, not only specifically those people inside the office. Includes people on the road and in the parking lot, the security personnel, the front desk staff. Treat everyone you don't know as though they're the hiring manager. Even if they aren't your potential employer, they might they might give feedback, or they might ask for their feedback. Okay? So that's just one thing you have to remember. And of course, it feels better if you're smiling all day. It feels better if you're helping them. Okay? If you do have, or if you can see one candidate who's having a difficulty opening the door, go ahead and do it. Right? It feels better. Okay. Next, number 14, win them over with authenticity and positivity. Now, authentic, just be yourself. Okay? Being genuine during the interview conversations can help employers easily, or the hiring staff to easily relate to you. Okay, it's easy to gain their trust, to build rapport if you're just being yourself. Okay, showing positivity with a smile and upbeat attitude can help them keep the interview light and constructive. Okay, so let's just do a quick recap for you to make a great impression, first impression. Always take a look at the small details. How you look. Are you sure that your nails are clean? Um, let's just say if you do have pet hair all over you, something like that. Number three, treat everyone you encounter with respect and win them over with authenticity and positivity. Okay. Now, like what I promised you guys, we're going to talk about some tips for dressing during an interview. This is very important. You can't go there wearing just anything, all right? I know you want to feel comfortable during the interview, especially for those of you who will need to do if you will need to take the public transport just to be there. Um, you really need to make sure that you feel comfortable with what you're wearing. Take note of that as well. However, you still need to look presentable. Okay. Now I do have here some things you need to avoid. Okay, things that you need to avoid. Number one, wearing heavy makeup. Okay, you just need to wear appropriate makeup. Okay, simple lipstick, a little bit of blush on for the girls. Do your eyebrows. We need that. Okay, but don't overdo it. Okay, things that you need to consider: the weather. The weather here in the Philippines, it's so hot, and you don't want to go there and looking like your makeup is melting, something like that. Make sure to just retouch a little bit before the interview. Number two, avoid strong perfume or cologne. Okay. Now I can say that most of the time, men needs to ask someone, for example, uh, your your brother, your sister, ask them if it's overpowering. Sometimes for me as a woman, um, I'm not used to smelling very strong perfume from another male, another lady, another woman, because probably because I'm used to it. I'm wearing a perfume and I'm a woman myself. Uh, I think I can say that I'm used to it already. However, on the other hand, for male, given that my husband's not wearing one, it's not something common for me. So if you're gonna be wearing something strong, or let's just say the perfume that you're wearing is something strong, try to blend it a little bit and just dab a little bit here. Don't spray all over you. Okay, because most of the time the interview room is just one small interview room. It's not a big space. It's not an open space. So you will really be close to each other. So it's important that you don't overpower the strong cologne or perfume. Next, what not to wear. If you can see it there, I do have a couple of pictures. First off, flip-flops, even sandals. Okay, especially if it looks like something that you wear on a daily basis. Okay, or if it doesn't look formal at all, I highly suggest you go with the closed shoes instead. Number two, shorts. Okay, I think we know this already. It's better to wear pants, jeans, skirt instead of shorts. Okay, and there will be some interviewers, some company who will not let you in the premises if you're wearing something like this. Okay, um, we talked about the makeup already. Something that we need to remember: overly casual clothing. All right, overly casual clothing. Now, girls, it's okay if you're gonna be wearing something sleeveless. It's okay. I do. I can see someone do that, but they're going to put a blazer on top or a jacket on top. Okay. So wearing headphones, I know you're gonna be there earlier than the others. Okay, given that you're nervous and you want to prepare, but avoid using big headphones and it's going to be hanging on your neck the whole time. Okay, if you're going to do that, just remove it before the interview. Okay, I prefer or I highly suggest, I can recommend something like this, like Bluetooth earphones instead, or if you do have the one that has got a wire, it's fine as well. Yeah, just don't wear it during the interview. Okay, remove your earphones, your headphones during the interview. Okay, next one, scrubs. Okay, this is something that you know already. You need to come up with a very formal attire. Not really formal, you can come up with semi casual, smart casual as well. But I prefer something with a collar for boys. Okay, and girls try to use a blazer or a formal looking jacket. Okay, dirty clothes. Okay, we know this for sure. Okay, hats, sweatpants, leggings, and what's this? Jeans. For me, jeans it's acceptable as long as it looks presentable. Okay. Um, there's this kind of jeans na ripped jeans. We call it ripped jeans, right? I think that is something that we need to avoid, especially if it's too revealing. We still need to come up with a more formal one. If you do have a black slacks or jeans or a more formal looking one, dark colored jeans, the better. Okay. Okay. Next, let's go ahead and talk about the interview day itself. Number 15, respond truthfully to the questions being asked. Now, it's important for you guys to be genuine. It's important for us to establish rapport, but don't overdo it. While it can seem tempting to embellish your skills, your accomplishments during the interview, um, find find something. Uh, let's just say interviewers will be finding honesty, right? And they will know if you're not comfortable talking about something. They might think that you're lying. Okay? So interviewers find honesty refreshing and respectable. Focus on your key strengths and why your background makes you uniquely qualified for the position. Okay, you don't need to overdo your accomplishments, your skills. If it's really not something that you're aware of or you're not comfortable doing it, you still don't know how to do it, just be honest with them. Number 6, tie answers to your skills and accomplishments. Okay, with any interview questions you answer. Okay, I want you to remember that you need to tie your background to the job by providing examples of solutions and results that you've achieved in your career so far. Okay. Now let's just say you don't have any job experience yet. Just like what I mentioned earlier, you will have some experience. You are, let's just say, technically you're exposed to a lot of different things during your time in on the job while you're still on the job training your OJT. So try to get something from there and try to tie your background, those skills you acquired from that OJT session, to what is the job description being required or what is the skill being required. Okay. Use every opportunity to address the requirements listed in the job description. Okay. Okay. Now let's proceed to number 17. Keep your answers concise and focused. Okay? Don't over explain things. Remember, your time with each interviewer is limited. You don't have you cannot extend way too much time with the interviewer. It's going to be inconvenient for the interviewer. Okay? And you have to be mindful whenever you're rambling answers. Whenever I'm saying rambling answers, anything that you can think of, you're just trying to extend it, come up with a story not really related to what is being asked. Just make sure that you're just answering the question itself, concise and focused. Okay? Practicing your answer beforehand can help a lot. Okay? For you to stay focused on the topic, for you to stay focused on the question. Okay? Number 18, don't speak negatively about your previous employers. Okay? Or even the company where you did your OJT. Nope, never. Don't ever do that. Okay, companies seek to hire problem solvers, not those people who likes to complain or to rant. Okay? Avoid doing that. Overcoming tough situations, problem solvers, innovative people. That's what they want. Okay. If you're feeling discouraged about your current job or your previous company, Focus on what you've gained from that experience and what you want to do next, and how can you not make the same mistake in the company. All right, just focus on the good side. If ever that you will be saying something about what they miss from that specific what you miss from that specific job, or for the things that you need to improve on, or what that specific company needs to improve on, that's the only time that you're going to be honest with them, but still try to make use of positive words as much as possible. Okay, next we're going to talk about after the interview. Okay, now a lot of people will just say, after the interview's over, they're just gonna simply say thank you, goodbye. All right, now that's not how it works. It's better if you're going to do these things after the interview. Number one, number 19, ask about the next steps. Okay, like what I mentioned earlier, it's okay if you're going to be asking some questions from your recruiter or from the hiring manager or from the hiring staff. Okay, remember, um, whenever you're asking questions, okay, it means to say that you're confident and that you are very interested with the job that you're applying for. So it's okay to ask questions. After your interview, it's appropriate to ask either your interviewer, your hiring manager, or the recruiter about what you should expect next. For example, am I going to be expecting a call? Or are you going to be expecting an email? Are they going to reach out to you through what channel? Okay? It's okay to ask about it. This will likely be a follow up email with the results from your interview, along with additional requirements, like an assignment or reference list or another interview. Okay, you need to know the next step. Is this the first interview? Will I be getting another interview? Is there a final interview of some sort? Do I need to prepare for something, some requirements? And yeah, it's better to ask. Number two, send a thank you letter after the interview. Okay. If your interviewer is in person, ask for the business card. Okay, you can do that of each person you speak with, so you can follow up individually with them, or a separate thank you email for them. Okay. If you interviewed in the morning, send your follow up emails the same day, maybe later in the afternoon. If you interviewed in the afternoon, the next morning is better. Okay, you don't need to do it right away, just after your, let's just say right after the interview. You don't need to do it right after the interview. Okay, wait for a couple of hours. If it happened in the morning, do it in the afternoon. If it happened in the afternoon, do it the next day, early morning. Okay. All right. So let's just do a quick recap for after the interview. You have to ask for the next step, and it's important that you send out thank you letter for them. After the interview, ask for their business cards or their specific email address so you can send them a personalized thank you letter. All right. Okay, so that's it for me. Thank you so much for listening. And if you do have questions, just let me know. I just want to let you guys know we do have a lot of VXI positions available. Visit our website at www.jobs180.com/VXI. We we are also um, welcoming walk-in applicants. We do have site in Makati, in Panorama in Quezon City, and Bridgetown in Ortigas. We do have some site in Davao as well. For those who are interested, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Roan, for giving us tips on how to impress the interviewers. But thank you so much. Guys, if you have questions with Ma'am Rowan on that topic, please don't be shy to post it sa ating comment section. Alrighty. Ms. Rowan, here are the offline questions for you. Number one, what is the importance of making a good first impression when applying for a job?
Yeah, the importance first off, just like what I discussed earlier, it is really, really impossible for the hiring staff or the recruiter to remember everyone. Okay, so it's something that we need to make sure we will do. We need to. I think Filipino we do have a term for this. We need to be bida bida. All right.
Yes,
So they
well,
will definitely remember us. Okay. What's going to make uh unique from the others, or what's going to make them remember us? What's yeah. So something unique. Um, they will are they going to remember me because I'm well dressed? Are they going to remember me because I'm always smiling?
thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, how about what are the factors or struggles of job seeker that may affect their first impression to the company or interviewer po?
Um, Factors that will affect, first off, if they're not genuine.
Mm-mm.
A lot of applicants will overdo their accomplishments to the point that it sounds impossible, or sometimes it doesn't sound genuine at all because they're just memorizing a script
Mm-mm.
from the internet, or they're searching from some questions and some sample answers, and they're gonna memorize it. Okay, for me, as part of the talent acquisition team, it's a no-no. Okay, don't memorize it. Just understand the question, and just make sure that you do have idea of how to answer it, and from there, just be
Mm-mm.
yourself.
That's right. I agree with that, Ms. Roan. Thank you so much po for joining us today. I think that will be my last question po. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Have a great day, Ma'am Roan. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much. For more opportunities with VXI, please do not forget to visit www.jobs180.com/VXI. Alrighty, so to our audience, thank you also for staying. Hope you learn and enjoy the session. If may tanong pa kayo, please send us a message sa aming Facebook. It's facebook.com/jobs180 or email us at Facebook at info@jobs180.com. Sorry. And to officially close our program, may we invite Ms. Julieta Quintao, the Senior Guidance Counselor, for the closing remarks.
Okay, so thank you very much, Mom. To our guest speaker, our graduating college students, and also senior high school students. So good noon. So we are thankful for our guest speakers for sharing their expertise on today's webinar. This day was made important because of the important people headed by Mr. Kim Chua and Mama Zalea, who made this event possible, especially the Jobs 180. More so, this is extra also important since this event provided our graduates from the School of Education, Arts and Business, School of Business Management and Information Technology, and also the School of Nursing, and even our graduating senior high school students with pertinent information that can be used when they plunge into the real world of work, and even as early as job hunting or searching for a workplace. We hope that this will serve its purpose by providing you with a slice of confidence that you need in order to surpass the initial stage of your career. Do not stop with what you have gotten from here, but continue to equip yourself with necessary skills, knowledge, and values that you need. Your alma mater will always be right behind as well as your family. So in advance again, let me congratulate you for your future success. Again, good noon. Thank you to those who have attended this webinar. Can I also give some gentle reminders for our students, especially those who attended this webinar? Student feedback form will be given in your later, be posted in your teams. And then for the graduating college student, exit interview will start this coming May, and attending this seminar is also needed for your signing of clearance. Okay, and please also fill up your career values form. Some have not yet accomplished it. So once again, maraming salamat po in behalf of Saint Michael. Maraming salamat again for Jobs 180 for accommodating us and making us a part of this webinar. Thank you very much, Mama Celea.
Thank you so much, Mom Julieta, for gracing us the event and for your closing remarks. There you have it, guys. We are done with the talk proper and successfully tackled all the topics assigned for today's session. Please do not forget to evaluate this event. The evaluation link is flashed on your screen and is also available at the comment section. Same thing with your digital certificates. The link is flashed on your screen and is also available on the comment section. Please do note that the evaluation will serve as your attendance for today's session. All right. We would like to thank each one of you guys for staying all throughout the event, and we hope that the webinar helps you be prepared in the world of work. We would like to thank St. Michael College for collaborating with Jobs 180. And we would like to thank also the following sponsors for being our corporate sponsors for this event. And you may check out their page for career opportunities. Just visit www.jobs180.com. And please, sa mga hindi po nakapanood ng ating webinar, you can rewatch it on Facebook and on YouTube. The program has finally concluded. This is your host, Maria Zalayomanda. We will see you soon and have a great morning. Ingat, everyone. Thank you so much.